Greek salad. So right there, so we say hot dog gun, that should be a good one there if you're liking it. Okay, so here we go. We're almost stopped out of the TQQs as it does run the top again. We're not doing anything too crazy with this trade. There it goes. If it takes the top, we're getting out. So we will end it there. We averaged it in. We took some fills there, but we're not doing anything crazy at 11 o'clock. Not today. So there it is. Good day overall today, man. One trade for me. Couple trades for this guy. Obviously we wound up green. I wound up green on the day, so I think that's very positive right there. And we'll just look to make more when we get back at 2 o'clock. So, all right, man. Good to have you back. Hopefully you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'll give it the meh. We're good enough to be in. That's all.
Yeah, that's good enough. All right. All right. Thank you for everybody. We're going off to the midday show. Make sure to hit that join.
And don't forget, every 2 hours. Nimrod says he's going to drop the membership, so hit that join, make sure you're in the chat, and take part, because you get that free, well, it'll be free for you if you get the membership through Nimrod, that note from Sharif. So good luck to everybody in your trading. Market's going higher, Tesla going higher, NVIDIA going higher, and Joey Options and Sharif about to give the goods.
Oh, whoa, hey, well, I didn't get the,
Hey, boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy, Joey Dang Options, and I'm Sharif. And yeah, we'll wait for everyone to come into the chat before start getting all excited over here, Joey Options. It looks like YouTube. What's going on over there, YouTube? Where are the people? Show yourselves, people.
Where the money at?
All right, so we're going to have to do it live on this one again here. Joey, what do we got? Where are all the people at? All right. Hey, okay. It looks like my chat wasn't working there. All right. Looking good, looking good. Let's say hi to everybody. All right. There we go. Now we're flooding in. Shout out to Strango Mango. That's a new one. John P. in Hell's Gate. Jake, Roberts, Snake, A Day in the Life. We got John Ishrad, TX Badger, and we got Vern, Jody Mills, Tammy, K, B, and Cometeer, Andrew Chow, and Big 40 Nephew. Shout out to CT, FIO, G-Top, 5150. Oh boy, it's time for Plan B. What? We got Miami Dragon, Byron Hill, 69, Judge Shack. You got 69 in the name, you're gonna get a healthy round of applause for me. We got Buffalo Soldier Son, Sirac G, and Moonshaw Ahmed. We got SM as well. Who else, man? Ali Hu, Dexter Smith. One more Joey Options. Marta Lenga. Good morning to everybody. Joey, just before we get say hello to everybody, the Big Kahunas, they've been talking about this all morning. If you are not part of the YouTube All Access, I think it's like $6 a month. Every single morning, this is going to get sent out to you guys. A morning note. You're going to get your technical areas of support and resistance right at the top. If it's an earnings play, you're going to get all the, the earnings report, the guidance, the segments, how things did, and you're going to get a trader takeaway telling you what to look for, both from an intraday perspective as well as a swing perspective. It's all free to members, and it comes into your inbox. Well, actually, you just click a link every single morning. So make sure you're subscribed and ready to go. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I like that. I like that the trader takeaway. I mean, listen, guys, what is it? Your iPhone bill,
something like that.
Your Apple Music bill, that's $12. Cell phone bill is a little bit. It's going to be your cheapest subscription, and especially if you're sitting here day in and day out. You want to find and get in some of that fundamental news as well as the technicals. So make sure you guys check that out, see what Sharif's got going on. It's going to be your cheapest sub without any question. All right, guys, without further ado, I bring to you... Let's see what we got going on IBIT. Man, oh man, what a missed opportunity. 0 for 2 on that one. And it kept going. So you know what? AC Slater to that. Let's go on to some things that we are rocking and rolling in. And that was goggles this morning. A nice little long. We added to that position. We scalp it out up until just a little bit under 142. And then we get that break even stop out. Bang. That's our other trade throughout the day. But I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities in crypto. I mentioned it yesterday, and Sharif mentioned it this morning as well, too. is that, hey, government shutdown, I think you're going to see a little bit of a rotation into the crypto space. And sure enough, we had Bitcoin tapping into some new numbers there, which was really, really nice. And then also, we are short the TQ, surprisingly. Attempt number 2. Let's see if we can get this rolling. There are some topping tail signals. And yeah, so that's what we're going to go off of. I still have my eyes on goggles to see if it's either going to break down or break up. It's starting to form that wedge, and we want to keep our eyes on that. Don't want to continuously keep trying to short the Nas if it doesn't want to go, right? So like attempt 1, get out and puts in a new high. We get in at a little bit better price, and it's just continuing to grind, right? So do we want to be standing in front of this? No, not necessarily, but we are also looking for that move back down towards the volume weighted average price. Now, as for the likes of NVIDIA, super, super strong like bull today. And you don't, yeah, exactly, strong like bull, brother. And you don't want to be standing in front of this. But as for the goggles themselves, what do we got going on here? We got this price compression. We have that flat bottom, and we have that wedge that's being formed. I love this volume print. This is essentially what I was long off of earlier in the morning, and we take a move up to there. So we have an inverted hammer on the other side of that, but the volume not necessarily supporting it like we have on this one. So patience, patience, patience. If we can get in at the lower end of the range, I like my risk to reward on that one. So that's what we got. We're short the Nas, but we won't be for very long, especially if Google has other plans to break out. And I like our chances on it. Let's zoom out before we send it back to Sharif and see what we got going on from a daily. Are we in breakout territory? No, but can we be in potential bounce territory? I think so. So keep an eye out on what we got. Down 7% off of those highs. Watch out for Google. Even though it's been on a monster run, I think we can get a slight recovery here on the day.
All right, guys, shout out to Blue Pirates. Yes, you're going to get the morning note every day. Shout out to Freddie, who just joined again. You're also going to get the morning note. Shout out to Scott R. Henderson, all new members. You're going to get this every single morning. It's going to get sent to you. Make sure to get it live every day. It is a PDF. You can view it on mobile. You can view it on desktop. All formats, easy peasy. So thank you guys for signing up. And yeah, shout out to you guys. All right, let's talk about the trades we've got on. Yes, it is free print sassy. You just got to be a member. So hit that join button on the bottom of the video. Will I also get it? Ozen, you get everything for free, okay? Free. You get to stay at Joey's house for free when you're here. You're going to let me stay for free at your Dallas.
For free.
All right, guys.
For free, man.
Just living, just hit that subscribe button on or that join button on the bottom, brother, and it's going to get you're going to get access to it. All right, let's go. I'm in 3 trades right now. Let's start with the first one. PALI. This is holding on to VWAP, but the lower high and lower low sort of trend is intact. I'm giving this to 120. If it loses 120, we're gonzino. We've only got one beak wetter on this one. I got to tell you, it's up 50 some odd percent, 47.75%, but it's not looking good at these levels. We'll have to wait and see. LRMR. Waiting for this one to add a little bit more. I have my dollar cost average.
Jody.
You want to go?
No,
I have my dollar cost average at 375, where the 10 EMA is. Looking for continuation. Only one profit taker. Shout out to Shanlu Trading. He's going to get, or they're going to get, the morning note as well. Shout out to you guys. SLNH, the other one I'm involved in right now, just got in my entry position near the high. I'm looking at obviously adding a little bit more. You know, when you punch into the high, you're not really sure whether it's going to retrace or continue. So I try to put the odds in my favor by picking it up off key areas of support. That level there is 262, where I'm looking to add more. Shout out to Dion Braxton. He's getting the morning note as well. All right, this is what I like to see. Let's go. Let's get some good participation. Let's all get that edumacation in the morning to know exactly what's running. Shout out to you guys. So those are the 3 I'm in right now. I've seen better trades, Joey, not going to lie. I'm obviously, goes without saying, I'm keeping my eye on DXYZ. I happen to like this company, obviously, as a vehicle to invest in privately held companies that are not listed on the public exchanges, case in point, OpenAI, SpaceX, et cetera, et cetera. So those are the ones I'm looking at. Let's bring in the side chart too. because we're keeping an eye on NUKK. This one wants to get nuked. It's got a nice little bull flag going here with an 848 high, showing me 829 at the moment. Great support off the volume weighted average price right around 795.8. I'm going to probably work my way into this one if it is warranted. All right, I'm liking this, man. YouTube uni students getting the morning note. Bear Slayers getting the morning note. This is what I like to see, guys. All right, we're going to keep
Sushi getting the morning note.
Oh no! Get it, Mark.
This is what we need, guys. Sign up. Sign up.
Love it, man. We love it.
Sign up.
Every single morning, guys, by 8:05 a.m., it's going to be live. You're going to be able to obviously view it, get your day ready. And the good thing about it is, Joey, I put one story per page. So you like a story, you want to do a bit more of a deeper dive, you go ahead and read it. You don't want it, it's not your modus operandi, it's not down your wheelhouse, you move on to the next one.
Dang. It's really that easy, right? Money wasn't right, but it wasn't tight. It's really that easy.
So good.
But no, in all seriousness, yeah, guys, go and check that out. I know a lot of you guys are having some good times with that. Yeah, let's see what we got going on, man. We're rocking and rolling here today. Still waiting for this wedge. I mean, yeah, it's good vibes around here, so we like that. Let's see if this short can continue. That's starting to slowly cook up for us. So bang, bang, bang. Attempt number 2 coming into play. So yeah, let's see. Now, as for what everyone else is looking at, open to the moon, crypto space is starting to rock and roll. I really, really love that. You guys know that goes without saying. What am I going to look for here? 103.20 on this potential short. So once we get to there, we'll slowly start to piece it out. And yeah, that's what we got cooking up. What did see? Gaurav, I like how we are both short today normally. Oh, okay, you took it off that quick. Come on, brother. Let me read that one. Yeah, I mean, usually it's one way or the other, but I think in the grand scheme of things, Jaybird, you're getting one. Wow, Steven, you're getting one. Yogesh, you're getting one. Man, it's starting to really
guys,
flow in.
I'm loving this.
No, but in all reality there, Gaurav, just to finish my thought, I feel like that we're constantly looking for the same things. So, yeah, I mean, we're not always we're not sitting beside each other or anything along those lines. So we'll always be in different positions, slightly see different things. And that's the beauty of trading, right? We're all displayed the exact same information, but the way we interpret it is completely different amongst each other, right? And when we correlate together, I like the probability, because if multiple people are seeing the same things, then the chances are the odds may be in your favor, because that's what we would like. May the odds forever be in your favor. Long time learner about to pay the due. Let's go. Yeah, there you go. So, oh my God. Wicked Chunky getting joining the Trader TV Live. So everyone really loving that new note that you're going to be getting in the morning. Make sure to turn on those notifications, because every morning I get it, bang, I'm like, all right, nice. Let's see what I'm getting there from Sharif, and so on and so on. So it's a really good look. Starting to get a little bit of a bounce here in the TQs. Right back to 103.20. We're going to piece that out. And then maybe if we're lucky on today's session, we'll have the ability to get to the volume weighted average price, or it might just be a strong market continuing to grind higher, my friend.
All right, so Joey, I'm just trying to find where we can show everybody where it is. It's supposed to be under posts. I'll have to get to this in a second. All right, Fred, Rob, all of you guys. All right, Joey, take over for a second.
Yeah,
I have to talk to Brett.
Absolutely, yeah. So he's going to get that sorted out. What's going on there? So what's everyone else looking at this morning? Put some names in the chat. We're still short the TQs. We're having a good time. It's Wednesday. So I'm just trying to think, like, what do we got going on? But no, in all seriousness, all right, we'll take a look at Plug Power. See what's going on over there. Dude, yeah, I mean, it's moving with the overall market. This is what we want to say. Okay, this is my green light to go here in the goggles. Again, I don't love what I've got going on. I'm short the NAS and I'm long gogs. A little bit of a hedge and a push and pull. So we'll see if we can get this breakout on Google. And if that's the case, I would rather size into Google and hop out of the TQ short and take that for that wedge breakout potentially, all right? So that's still cooking up. Let's see if that goggles is gonna work out. We're gonna give it to 240, so that's gonna give us 60 cents. That's quite a bit, but we start relatively small just in case we do get that breakout that we're looking out for here. And all right, so Ozan says, Joseph, Okay, wow, we're going way out there in date there, Ozen. We're going to do that before we send it back to my guy and see if he got everything sorted out there.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Give me a couple minutes here, my friend, and we're going to go over all the way to, let's see, where did Ozen go? Ozen, where'd you go? Okay, January 15th, 2027. Okay, so we're talking leaps, baby. Leaps and bounds. All right, now what am I looking at? 940s. What in the helly? Okay.
Everything good?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my days. Never mind the 940s, O's. Look at the 960s.
Crazy.
What do they got going on over here? Did you run a scan on that? I'm curious to know. So yeah, that's a really good look, guys. This is January 15th, 471 days from now, right? You can see those 960 strikes starting to run some volume, which is very, very interesting. And then we also have the 940s putting in that volume as well too. But the open interest definitely lays at that higher strike price. So keep an eye out on that. Very, very interesting stuff. And thank you for pointing that out, our good friend Ozen. Oh, by the way, you got to pay a measly $3,700 for that contract, Sharif.
All right, Arnold, that's measly. But yeah, so just putting in a stop over here, and then we're going to I'll show exactly for all the new people who signed up today, exactly where to get it. So it is super simple. So once you were signed up and you were a member and you've joined, so this is our homepage. Sorry for the black theme. So that's our homepage right now. All you do is you go right there to posts. Okay, you click that bad boy post, you scroll down. This was posted an hour ago. You hit read more, and then it's right there. It's going to be on a Google Drive every single morning. You will not see this post right here. Even if you go to posts, if you are not a members only subscriber, you'll see other things that we post, but this one will only be visible to those members who subscribe. So get your subscription in, guys, while it's still at this price. Shout out to Brendo, who helped me set this up, always doing the absolute most in a great way. All right, we're in a few trades right now, guys, so I'm just gonna basically cover them for you. AIHS, this is what we call above and special. Yes, this is Bhavin Patel's right here. So I'm in, where am I in at? I'm in at 87s, there's 93s, we're looking for more. We're looking for a $3 break and take. Now, it's been above 3 a bunch of times. However, it's had a whole lot of trouble clearing and staying above 3. I'm alive to that. I'm also alive to the fact that it's finding support at the 10 EMA. How long for? We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so AIHS up 41 and change. We're also doing it freaking absolutely live here on LRMR. What a nice breakout. We're long 80. We just went to peak there at 92s. We are at the high of the day right now on LRMR. We're going to have to post as well at 95s, and then we're going to post at 98s. Right before we go to Adara, I want to let you know that we're also holding SLNH. This one's not up big. It's up 13.4, but it's holding generally the 10 EMA, the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. And I'm trying to wet my beak with some more shares over here down at 62s. Alas, that is an old and outdated level, as the 10 EMA has now moved away from that level. So I've got to have to move up my dollar cost average resting order. With that, we're going to send you Adara. She's got news.
I do, and keep an eye here on BP. Excuse me. This one has a new chairman, Albert Manifold. An internal memo revealed by Reuters says that Manifold is apparently saying that the company has an overly complex portfolio of assets. We know that BP was reportedly in some type of buyout talks. Those were denied, and we know what that means for some reason in Britain. If you deny explicitly a buyout, then you're not allowed to enter that deal for like the next 6 months. It's a really odd setup. So either way, at least as of right now, they're not, it's at least 6 months, I believe. So either way, right now, they're not planning on any kind of sale. But either way, Albert Manifold, again, the new chairman, indicating that they do have an overly complex portfolio of assets. What they do with that asset or do with those assets is not yet clear. Back to you.
Yeah, well said, Adara. Great call out there. Very nuanced information there, specific, obviously, to the Competition Markets Authority out in England. Good look. They have some unique rules over there, baby. So we got to be alive to them if we're going to trade some of these names or be invested in them. So good call by Adara, Joey. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now. The only one I'm kind of concerned about, Joey, is AIHS. I like what it's doing, but the instability or the volatility of the STAME and the indecisiveness, especially at this key psychological $3, has me a little worried. So we'll see if this one can continue to trend. But it looks like the longs and the shorts are engaged in one hell of a battle here in and around 280 to 3.
Good look there. Maybe I'll get the answer on the side. One Shot asks, how do you activate a gifted membership? We'll get that sorted out for you here momentarily without any question. One thing that I want to know, guys, 6,200 of you watching, only 300 likes?
That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk, Joey.
What kind of nonsense is that? Come on, just do us a solid. Hit the like. It's not that difficult.
Oh.
I mean, it's just a little click of a button, right? And that's all we're really asking for here.
The little flick of the wrist.
Come on.
This trade has unlimited upside.
Damn. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. Bang. Starting to cook up. 300 is wild. I know O-Dog. Shout out to O-Dog.
O-Dog.
Where's O-Dog from? Oh, yes. For all my Torontonians, that is going to be the radio station. Jeff O'Neill, a former Carolina Hurricane and Toronto Maple Leaf. So shout out to the O-Dog over there. Now, as for the TQs, guys, you can see that we're slowly starting to trim some as we're breaking through some key support levels. And then we got Google starting to grind back towards the top end of that range. We can't complain, right? So we get out of our initial trade, let things cool off, an additional fake out, we hop right back in because we said, we're not going to allow this to happen to us again. Yesterday we were looking for the short, we got stopped out once, and then I'm like, you know what, AC Slater to that. We're gonna come back, but this time we hammered. Of course I wish that I took the third swing on the Bitcoin trade, but that's okay. We're not too worried about it. We're in the TQs. We're waiting for Google to break out if it potentially does. Because look at this sideways price action, Shreve. This is insane. It's going to pick a direction. Which one? We have no idea. But if it's going to be to the top side, best believe your boy's going to want to participate on that one because we love Google. And there it goes, starting to climb a little bit higher. One more here for the folks. Oh, and sorry, give me a couple minutes there. Mr. Westermeyer, we're going to do this here momentarily. So I bit bull flag being formed. Is it going to break out? I think so. Let's go into those all-time highs, folks. Hit that 125, 130, because I'm holding Tom Lee accountable for his words. That's what we do over here. You say 200K, I'm going to take your word for it, and if it doesn't, there's going to be a little bit of a problem.
Oh, no, don't get Joey options upset.
I guess there's going to be a little bit of a problem then. That's my take on that. I'm sorry.
Shut the door, Adara. Boom.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right.
Adara's choosing violence today.
Chose violence today.
I like it.
That's all right. We like,
okay,
we like it a lot. I like it a lot. There goes Bitcoin breaking through the high. I don't think it's hitting 200,000 either, Adair. I'm obviously being said. There goes Google starting to break out. But Mr. Westermeyer, so let's pull up the chart here as well too. So I got a lot going on with this Google breaking out, starting to work with us. But I'm gonna multitask here because I think that's what we're pretty good at. So let's get Let's get to this daily. You want to set up an options contract. One thing to note is I think that we're okay, right? You can see here at the money IB is slowly starting to cool off because after this big gap down, you don't want to be buying contracts, right? So again, after earnings, it is a bad time to buy contracts. Why? Because implied volatility is increased. So, but now we're starting to fill up this gap here from that potential play. For me personally, I would wait for a pullback. And then if you're looking to set up an options play, it's this simplistic. Right? We're not going to do anything a month, 2 months, 3 months, never mind all that. We're going to put our money where our mouth is, and then we're going to go a little bit farther out, whether it be March, April, or May. Why? Because we want to give our thesis a little time to play out. And then if you're going to go and buy a contract, for me, it's always at the money or slightly in the money. Why? Because when you're in the money, you get to take advantage of that delta. You're going to get more appreciation within that contract point for point. Now, if you go at the money, it's like kind of think of it as buying common shares. And then sure enough, once it starts to appreciate in price, that's when your delta is going to start to accelerate. So for me personally, 180 at the money, you're going to pay $28 for that. So it's going to be $2,800.25, right? Or $2,800.25. and then sure enough, you just want it to let it continue to work. If it doesn't, you have further dated expiration. You can do some shorter duration covered, a poor man's covered call essentially, and write a couple of options against it. And then when it starts to work, you just buy back those short options and allow that one long call option to appreciate freely, I should say, Sharif.
All right, guys. We're doing it live on one and didn't do it live on the other. Look, I narrowed my loss on AIHS. This one's losing the bid. So we wet the beak here into the pop, into 90s. So I had about 35% of the position left. So we'll give back 35% on that. Are we positive on AIHS? The answer is no, we are not. We're negative on that one. But we're doing well on LRMR as it one trades near 4. It's a 399 high. That's my best out. I've got a couple of profit takers north of 4. And we're doing it absolutely live here on SLNH as it comes into the high of the day. That is my best print, 77s, 277s. It's up 16.5%, give or take. It's got a topping tail that's forming now. I'd like to see the topping tail or the price action get defended at 70. Why do I say that? What's this 70 area that I have a random obsession with? Area, rejection, rejection. Finally, you clear it. What I was pointing out there, if you couldn't see it on the chart, was the 270 price action rejections that the price had multiple times. So if that's the case, I'm looking now to see if that general 70 area will act as an area of support. You know, I'm talking about 69, 68, in and around that area. We've got a good position here at 66s, having DCA'd into 65. Let's see if we can kind of continue up in that same fashion. Oh, baby. There we go, above 4 on LRMR. Now we have the high of the day. That's a 403 print. My next print on LRMR, 411. We're long. Where are we long? We're 80s. Okay, so decent move here on LRMR. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on, these two. But I really have to stress that nuke, NUKK, is looking awfully good right now. As I mentioned at the top of the show, when we first started, it respectfully held the volume weighted average price in and around that $8 area. I love when two key areas of support conflate, right? You're getting that VWAP area where we know traders are looking. We got the psychological area of support at $8. They happen to be in and around the same. I like that kind of setup. Now it's an 858 high. It is a bit spready. I'm talking about NUKK. At times, I've seen it tighten up at other times, but it's an 858 high. We're showing 44s, and since reclaiming the 10 EMA on the 5 at around 1045, we've strictly held it, not even wicking into it or below it. So I'd like to set up somehow, some way here on NUKK. Just really undecided about how I'm going to do that at the moment, given that it is trading a lot closer to the highs. So we'll see if 850 is any level of importance over here. We know that it is, at least intraday. And why do I say that? That 10 a.m. spike rejects off 1050, drops to basically 790, and then we have a second attempt at 850. Sure, we clear it, but only on a wick basis. Look at that closing print on this green candle right here, closes south of 50. So we know the profit takers and or the short sellers are clearly looking at that half dollar level as an area of interest to them. Here we go. We're clearing 50. We're showing 53s now. Let's see how high we can get on this monster. I'd definitely like to get in. It seems like it's going to be a 10 EMA retracement for me. Currently, the 10 EMA is at 830. That could be different. That could be a different price by the time the price action works down into it. So we're going to take off DXYZ for a moment here. We're going to put on the nuke. And we're going to look to execute. So currently, the 10 EMA on the 5 is 829. I have a bias that by the time the price action drops down, it might be a little bit higher than that. So I'm going to go ahead and wait at 8 1/3. So we're going to go ahead with a buy order over here at 833. And come what may, I can't get in. Oh, it's not letting me in. This one's blocked. Yeah. Let me double check. Am I getting error on that? I'm not seeing it. Hold on. Let's try this again. So this is DXY's. That's why, Joey. Okay, it didn't update the chart. All right, good. Okay, just hadn't updated the chart. We're good there, so we'll cancel one order and we'll leave us with one. Joseph Options,
okay.
What do you got, my man?
Yeah, good luck there. All right, so we got a good question from our boy Jag here. This is fantastic stuff. So, Jag, I don't know, you got to go deep into the archives. When I did a lesson on volume price analysis, this is essentially what we're looking for, right? It's the correlation between the candle prints and the volume, but sometimes the volume always isn't supporting. So, Jag, you hear Los and Los Polios, Gorev and I were always looking for these specific signals. And it's like, okay, do they work 100% of the time? No, but we put probability in our favor, right? So you're saying, hey, what did we see in particular for us to go long? Here, I'm going to display it to you here really quick. Is that when you are at an extreme high or an extreme low, you see these hammer candles being formed. This is what we're looking for. Los Polios is getting really, really good at pointing them out, and Gorev has been absolutely phenomenal at pointing them out as well too. They use different time frames. I'm a 1 minute and a 5 minute individual, but within these prints, there's signals that say, hey, we're ready to turn price around. Whether it's going to work or not is a totally different story, but if you listen to what each individual candle has to say, it's telling their own individual story, and that's what we're looking for, is either at an extreme high, you get that selling pressure, so a topping tail candle on both of these. This says, hey, I think we're ready to go long. And then if you catch it at the low and you see the buying pressure step in, or sorry, to go short up here, and if you see the buying pressure step in, you're ready to go long, all right? Adara, what do you got for us?
What I have here, guys, I have a note on Coinbase. BTIG bullish on Coinbase. You can find a little bit more on this note on our Trader TV Live watch list. In the corner there is Brian Armstrong, CEO. So this infographic is an older infographic, but just a little food for thought as I give you guys this note. BTIG initiating coverage, $410 price target, and a buy rating. For the record, Coinbase trading around $350 right now, so this price target is a premium. But why do they feel so bullish on Coinbase? Well, they said the company's diversifying their revenue in a way they really like, and they said is actually quote-unquote underappreciated. Specifically, the subscription and services revenue now accounts for roughly 40% of the company's overall revenue. That is up from more than 70% reliance on trading fees 2 years ago. So they're going from relying almost solely on trading fees to having a much more balanced portfolio in terms of revenue attribution there, contribution. So good look there for COIN, especially in the eyes of BTIG. Let's talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin here coming into a really key level of resistance. This was the resistance that we got here on September 18th, the day after Fed Day, around 118,000 today. We're just ratcheting to the upside to start the month of October for BTC. Let's see if we can clear that 118,000 level right now, around 117 halves. Let's take a look here at ETH USD, also pushing higher and back above that previous level of support and resistance there at that 4,200, currently trading around 43.3. Nice start to the month so far for Ethereum and Bitcoin, but let's see if they can continue this momentum, because we're literally only 1 day in, 31 days to go. Back to you.
It's October.
Oh, October.
I think I still have it, Adara. I can probably go back and find it in the notes, but yeah, don't worry, we'll get that. Oh, hold on.
Whoa, ho.
Oh no, it's October.
It's October.
It better be October, bro. It better be
telling
October.
me, brother, there's going to be a problem. I mean, sorry. All right, guys, screen, Assassino,
Yes,
please, and thank you. All right, guys, there it is. And this is what we were talking about earlier in the day. Google. We're waiting for that wedge. The price was really starting to compress. We're correlating the daily with an intraday pattern. And there it is. Bang. You're starting to get that move to the top side. We love what Google's been doing. That price was really, really starting to compress, as I just mentioned. And sure enough, we got the breakout. So a nice little look there. So not too bad. Now, as for the crypto space here, guys, we want to keep an eye out on what's happening right now. So you have this you have this consolidation, right, after a strong opening drive. But now we have this inverted hammer. This is what we would look for here, Jag. But one thing to note, the devil is in the details, and you can see a little bit of buying pressure step right back in here. So that is positive. It pushes price down, recovers, and even though that's essentially an inverted hammer, we want that to close completely in order for us to look for a short. And I'm not standing in front of this crypto space going short, that is for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to stand in front of crypto anytime.
At any time.
I don't even really short all that much, Joey. Like in general, I'm more of a long only in both the swing and intraday generally.
Eliminate 50% of all problems right there by going short.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people can print. We know that. There's no question about that, right?
Big smile.
Big smile. Freaking.
Yeah, for sure. But hey. You got 250 DOP. Is that the Dominican peso? Jedi. I'm pretty sure it's from Jedi. Can we go over BMNR? Absolutely. Give us 1 second here, Adara. We're going to go over BMNR. Actually, no, we'll go to Adara first, and then we'll go over BMNR.
Bang.
Yeah, just keep an eye here on some of these legacy automakers. GM just posted their deliveries for Q3. They're up 7.7% year over year to 710,347 units. EV deliveries actually here up 107%. So strong EV deliveries for GM for Q3. Toyota posted their deliveries as well. Not seeing how those compare, though, on a year-over-year basis. Back to you.
Thank you for that. And now back to Jedi Super Chat. Same thing kind of going on that we've seen in Google, right? So you have these consistent higher lows. That's positive with that flat top up here. So you're starting to form that wedge. Now, which way is it going to break?
Which way?
Guess what? If Ethereum decides to go on a venture to the top side, who's going to follow it? That's going to be BMNR. So it's not too bad of a look. If you can get in at the lower end of the range or when that volume steps in for the breakout, then I think you'll be okay. Just be careful, because even though I was front running Google, I'm like, all right, I like my chances lower end of the range, and if we get that breakup, then I'm going to be positioned relatively well. Don't have to wait for the volume to set in, but also if it breaks down, I have a good opportunity to get out. Now, when you're buying in the middle of this range, well, guess what? It's going to chop and churn within that specific area, so you want to get in at the lower. It's going to increase your risk to reward, or if you're patient enough and that volume steps in aggressively, you can get in quick. But sure enough, be careful, because if that volume isn't supporting, it might be a fake out and it might come back into the middle of the range.
All right, man, I got to shout out Tesla, NVIDIA, and Apple, the member, not the stock. Welcome to Trader TV Live Premium Membership. Yes, get the morning note every day, and shout out to Chet GPT, also a new, yeah, I know, I love that, a new premium member with our YouTube. Make sure to hit that join button on below the video to get the morning note every day. Super easy to find. Just go to posts on our YouTube homepage if you are a member, and you should see that set up. So thank you very much for joining, and we do appreciate you guys. All right, here's the deal. Let's talk about these trades that we're involved in. SLNH has been good to me over here, but the spread is kind of starting to bother me in front of 80. It's not printing, even though it's crossing my profit taker as a result of the spread, so I'm packing my patience. We got 66s on. It's showing me 77s. High of the day is 80 on that bad boy. But it's LRMR that's actually coming down a little bit over here. Where is that one? So it's losing 4. So the 10 EMA on the 5 on LRMR is like 391, 392. I'd like to see if it comes down and holds that level. I'm long 80, so it gives me a bit of a buffer between the 10 EMA and my price, so I can make my decision, you know, resting easy. I don't mind adding there if it is warranted to do so. Shout out to Kenny Wright, man. Kenny Wright doing it live as well. Shout out to my guy, entitled to the morning note as well. Get that morning note every day in the posts area of our homepage.
Be Free said he posted a super chat.
Oh, my bad.
We didn't see that one.
Corey Ewing's got one as well, and he's talking about you as well. I didn't see that Be Free one.
I don't see anything with Be Free.
Be Free, yes, got $2 QuantumScape Friday, $14 calls at the open, up $120. Charts, please. That's all you right there, my boy.
Anytime, brother. Yeah. You don't even pick them up. For all those who know what I'm referring to, pick them up. All right, so we got a couple options, super chats here as well too. Corey, we're gonna go over yours momentarily. There goes Google still cooking up an absolute storm, so we like that one there. All right, open door. Let's see what we got cooking up. I got those $2. Oh, QuantumScape. Never mind. What am I talking about? Open door. We want QuantumScape. $2. got two QuantumScape Friday $14 calls at open, $120. Boom. All right, we like that one. We like that one.
I like that.
Where the money at.
Where the money
All
at.
right, so yeah, I mean, hey, my friend, if you're in the money on those, let's pull up the chart on the QS. QuantumScape. Wow, who is Google think they are today? Yeah, this is a really, really good look there so far. I mean, lock in some things. Friday they expire. Tomorrow's Thursday. Watch out for theta start to increase as well too. So lock some of that in. 50% today, 50% tomorrow. Bang, money in the bank. We really, really like that. Now, as for the daily on QuantumScape, intraday, perfect, and it's still currently forming that bull flag that a lot of names currently seem to be doing the exact same thing, so that's positive as well too. And then look at this thing of beauty. You can't go wrong. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the week if you go and test that $15 level to a T. That's where it rejected aggressively, right? So me personally, even though the price action is strong, you want to lock a little bit of that in before you run into that specific level. And guess what? If it breaks, you have your other contract, and then now you're rocking and rolling. You're heading into Friday with just high vibes and everything along those lines, all right? So again, obviously manage your own positions, not financial advice, but you can never go wrong. As Neil says, no one's gone broke taking profit, and you can't go wrong taking money out of the markets. It's one of the toughest skills, and if you have the ability to do that, go on, my friend. Go on. Now, go.
This
Mike.
guy's so British now. I love it. Go on.
Yeah,
that's
on,
like
man.
very English expression.
Crack on.
I like it. I like it.
Crack on, my friend. Crack on. Grafting. Did you ever say like grafting?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I love it. I love the English thing. Shout out ADL. Okay. Joe, my guy. Did EA close the sale? Can Adara confirm? Juicy options play for March 20th, 2010.
So it's not going to be closed until, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. It's not going to be closed till like this first part of 2027, but they did confirm the deal is happening. It's valued at $55 billion, which is actually higher than we were expecting, and $210 is going to be the price of said deal. So that's my confirmation.
Bang. It's just like that. Corey, do you even want my opinion after this? Adara just gave you the golden news. So what I say after that is essentially, no, I'm obviously joking, but call for 85, look to trap or a good buy. See, that's the thing here, right? We're going to pull up EA. I don't know when you bought them, but after events like this, bad time to buy options, right? Because the volatility is increased. You're going to be paying a little bit more for it just in IV alone, and then day after day, it's going to slowly start to decay. Before I send it back to Sharif, we're going to pull up the actual chain and see what we're looking at from an eye. Oh, wow, okay, that's really surprising. It's at 10.2%. That's nothing. So you're not even paying for that stuff. Let it ride. I mean, 210 calls for 85 cents is going to cost you. But they're not even worth anything right now. Okay, yeah, so maybe not too good of a look there. Yeah, you've lost the majority of the value of those. You mean the wrong contract here. March 20th, let's pull that up. And okay, so you're still flat right now. Let it ride, right? It's hopefully that's not going to break the bank or anything. Let it ride, see what happens. But if it is going in that buyout territory, then it's not going to appreciate in price. So if you feel that like, hey, what I'm looking for isn't going to work out, considering the big time move that we've seen on it yesterday, watch out, because continuation on that is going to be a little bit more difficult, Sharif.
All right, Buvin, I'm covering it right now. We have a new IPO today. It is on the Nasdaq, and it goes by that ticker right there, FRMI. And here are the details. As you can see, Assassino, if you can do your magic over there, the top, the theoretical auction price, the price we are slated to open at least according to this data point right here, is $25. But I need to give you more information, because this IPO was priced at $21. I guess it was indicated at one point here at $26.50. That is not the case right now. I don't have more information about it. Let me look over here. Fermi shares indicated to open at $38.50. Okay, so that was at 10.49. So that's obviously changed. It was also up to $42 a share. That was the top. So that's a point that is constantly changing. Rick Perry's data center REIT, Fermi, priced at $21 per share. So let's talk a little bit about this IPO. since we've said very little about it on the day. Here it is. The data center REIT, co-founded by former U.S. Energy Secretary Rick Perry, offered 32.5 million shares through an IPO, offered price at 21 apiece, toward the upper end of the expected range. The range was, 18 to 22, so it's not oversubscribed. It was at the higher end of the range. We've seen way more aggressive. We've seen like 18 to 20, and then it ends up getting priced at 25 and then opens at 35. That doesn't seem to be the case today. The data center REIT shares are expected to start trading Wednesday on the Nasdaq. Thursday, as it's on the LSE as well, under ticker FRMI. The pricing values the company, which hasn't generated any revenue yet, at over $10 billion. The company's aiming to profit from the surge in demand for data centers driven by the Russian AI. Fermi plans to deliver 11 gigawatts of low carbon on-demand power with a target of 1.1 gigawatts of power projected to be online by the end of next year. The company's focus is what it calls Project Matador, a multi-gigawatt energy and data center development campus designed to support the needs of to-be-built AI infrastructure, it said in the registration statement. UBS, Evercore, Cantor, Mizuho, all acting as book running managers for the offering. So there's your information on that. Now let's take a gander at the top, the theoretical auction price, and that is still at $25, Joey. I was looking at it very, quickly, and it was $24.99 last time I looked. So we don't know, Poonam, when the IPO is going to be open. That's part of the allure, the fun of this whole thing. We typically know it's going to be open during the midday show, but here's a little trick. Shown to be my Neil and the Katina man. I have to load up my imbalance locator over here. Show yourself, imbalance locator. History log. Just looking, there it is, imbalance locator. So we're going to do this live. So now we're going to go to the Nasdaq, and we're going to go apply OK, and then we're going to sort by size. Fermi, right there. It's a sell side imbalance right there of around 238,000 shares. So typically, we get to know we're closer to opening once that size starts dropping down. Currently, it's around 247,000. Once it drops into that 10,000, 15,000, it's basically the exchange doing its job. It's trying to pair buy orders with sell orders ahead of the open. Once it gets that number low and it's, completed what it perceives to be its job, then we can open. And you can look at this column over here under PV where it says paired volume. So the exchange has already paired 3.22 million buy and sell orders together, with the remaining outstanding amount still on show yourself, right there at 32,000, with a buy side imbalance now of 32,000. So that's really dropping. Neil, how do I get this one to stay at the top? Paired volume, right? Because it's probably going to have a lot more paired volume than others. Yeah, there we go. It's at the top now. Thank you, Neil. So yeah, we have a new IPO, guys. So I wanted to let you know about that. It's a good looker. We're going to keep covering it for you when it opens. But I got to tell you, LRMR was a good one for me today. We went the beak there at the high of the day at 412. Sorry, 413 is the high. That's the end of that trade. We're going to keep an eye out on it. Good look right now for LRMR Joey options. Let's see what else we got. Casey. All right, Casey. 1 day apart. Shout out to Casey. We trade the same. We're born around the same time. Good morning, Sharif. Just logging in. Would you take a look at Pally, please, and thank you. Casey, so polite. Let's have a look at PALI for the OG case. Oh, whoa, I like this. Okay, so right away, that's a daily chart. I can already gauge it's a former runner. That pleases me, okay, because now I know it can have outsized days. Now, I'm not investing in the long term, so I don't really care where it ends up closing on the day as long as it makes a move. All right, Casey, it doesn't look too bad. I see a nice bull flag breakout right at 920 before the bell rung, right? So we started getting some exuberance right before the bell rung there. We top out at around $1.30, where it looks like we held $1.30 for a hot minute there as an area of support. Then we dropped a lost VWAP at $1.25. And now it looks like we're using that 130-ish area as resistance. So ideally for me, this clears 140, Casey. I think it's a good setup if it can clear 140 on a closing basis. Take a gander over here at all the prints in and around that 140 area. None of these candles, Casey, actually close above $140. There's obviously price action above $140, but only on a wick basis. If you want to get in here, I would punch in at $1.30, Casey, and I put my stop below this area low, this candle here at 11.15, which has a low of 118. So I would risk around 12 pennies or so into that area. You could be a little bit tighter with your stop. You can go 120, but you're at risk of getting wicked out. The idea here is to front run the move into 140 while also balancing the risk and reward by placing your stop below area low. That area low to me is around 118. PALI is a ticker I'm talking about, and it's up 51.25%, and it's already earned its way onto the side chart, Joey. We're taking off VUZI, but look at nuclear go. I mean, come on, you're setting me up here, nuclear. This one is nuking to the upside, and there we go. Joseph options. We didn't even take anything out yet, man. We haven't even wet the beak. We got 50s on. We just took out 62s. Give me a little bit more, man.
Give him a little bit more, man. Come on, man. I think this is, man.
When like the craziness piles in, bro. I love it. I love
accumulates.
it. Shout out to Joey Options, man.
Snowball effect.
So we're taking out VUZI on the side chart, and we're putting in the Casey special over here, PALI, because that looks a lot better. Joey Options. Tell them what you're looking at, man.
My days, Google. Days, mate. Like. What those ain't
give my boy 69.
Give him it. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So good.
All right, guys, we're all out of the goggles trade here. A pretty good look on the good old goggles. So boom, we hop in there, pop, and then we take some off there. So a pretty good trade. We won't complain about that. And now we're in this BMNR right now.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get that breakout. Like it's kind of the same thing. And what I'm looking at, wow, Google's more shares, just more shares. It's not that complicated. Just put on more shares. So there it is. Yeah, again, hindsight 2020, obviously, but there it is, guys. So just the kind of the similarities within these price actions. One thing to note is that you have these higher lows opposed to these lower highs over there. So yeah, interesting what goggles has got
Joey,
going on.
I got to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
There's a new IPO. It's not Fermi. There's another one breaking out right now. It goes by the ticker N, as in Nancy Pelosi. NP. I was making a joke. Nancy Pelosi, Neil. The ticker is NP. All right, well. All right, well, here, this is the Nancy Pelosi IPO. I'm kidding, it's not Nancy Pelosi, okay? It opened up at 22.50 Adara, 23 high, 23.24 high. We got to pause and go to Adara.
I can just give you guys some more info on Neptune. So this was priced at 20. It looks like it actually did open above that IPO price. Neptune Insurance Holdings, 18.4 million shares, and offer amount here 368.42 million. So that's the detail there for Neptune Insurance, not Nancy Pelosi, but its ticker is NP. Back to you.
Dara, come on. Of course it's not Nancy Pelosi, but we can pretend. Would you trade NP over here if it was Nancy Pelosi?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I'm YOLO.
Then you want to YOLO NANC.
Yeah.
Because that's the Nancy Pelosi ETF.
Does it still exist?
It does. Whoa, look.
Because I know they took down the old Jimmy Cramer one.
Unusual subversive ETF still there, Joey.
No way.
It's down 0.09, but it's at 44.75.
What's it year to date, though?
A good question. I got to put it in here. Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Let's find out how Nancy's doing on the year, my man.
It's crazy.
NANC. Joey.
Yeah.
She's up 16%. Is that what you said, Adara? Yeah. 15, yeah. So I got 15.99, same crap. So she's up. Is she outperforming the Nas?
No, not quite.
Come on,
but come on,
together, bro.
But hey, you can't do it all the time. Otherwise, it's suspicious, right?
I was gonna say something, but
don't be suspicious. Suspicious? You never heard it?
She has Julian L.
Suspicious.
I wanted to say it, but I'm just gonna say what you said, Julian. She has no excuse to be down. Why would that be, Joey?
Well, I mean, hey,
why?
Well, I mean, you got to buy some NVIDIA call options. And you know what I mean? You just rock and roll with that.
Nah. She's just that good, right?
She's that good.
She's that good.
Who does Google think it is here today? Just absolutely skyrocketing. And this is what we're talking about from a daily as well, too. Bang. Potential bounce territory down 7%. There it is. Let's stock and roll right there, guys. Google with that big time move. We like that. And then now as for BMNR, let's see if we can get that bounce here. But we're going to need Ethereum to start rocking and rolling as well too there, guys. So keep an eye out on that one specifically. All right, AMD. Los Polios, again, crushing it on advanced money duplication over here. Boom, hammer candle off of those lows. Primary trend still fully intact. A little bit of buying pressure still left within this candle, so keep an eye out on that. If BMNR doesn't break out, then we're just going to get out at those lows. We're going to give it 50 cents, right? 53.40s. And then if it heads back towards the top of the range, we'll just hop in at a better price. But potential good short signal there on AMD. How deep is it going to be? Just be cautious. Piece it out on the way down. There, my friend. You got anything?
Joey, you know what day it is today, right?
Yeah.
It's the first day of October, which means the first day of Q4, right?
Q4.
Adara Weaselin.
Google.
Where are the Jimmy Carter things at, Adara?
Oh, I'm working on it right now.
Figured.
They're like all the calculations are done. I just haven't posted it yet because I kind of want to prioritize this thing I'm working on right now, which I'm about to post, which are the best and worst performers in the Nasdaq and the SPY year to date. So that's going to come out first. Jimmy Carter's almost ready, and I'll be posting that soon. But I want to post this first.
Adara, ASML's almost at $1,000.
Yeah, you're killing it on ASML.
Just saying.
I honestly did not, when I saw what ASML was doing compared to last time, I like literally,
just saying.
you were red on ASML last month. As of last month, you were red on ASML.
Was I actually?
Yeah, you were like barely, you were like flat on ASML, but crazy.
Not in real life though, because I wasn't IRL.
Like,
I know from the date that we all did it. Yeah,
January 10th. Yeah.
Yes, Kanye. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, that's hilarious. Joe and Sharif, which one of you is Lloyd and Harry? Pick them up. Mock,
what's
yeah,
that?
Bird, yeah, that's the best part. Yeah,
Lloyd and Harry.
Yeah.
I don't even know who this is. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know which one is Who's actually
they're actually they're not.
I've never watched.
They're both equally as dumb, man. It's crazy. I love the best part is when they're on the moped and they're just like freezing, and I think it's Harry's like to Lloyd. He's like, oh, I'm freezing. He's like, hey, yeah, do you want a pair of my gloves? I have two. And he's like, the whole ride all the way up into Aspen.
You want a pair of my gloves?
Yeah. He's like, I have two. Joe is more Lloyd. All right, we'll take that. BMNR, you suck, man. We're gonna hop out of that one here momentarily because it doesn't want to break out. Not participating with the Ethereum and the Bitcoin rally, so we're gonna just avoid that. And see what else we can potentially find here for another opportunity, because I was looking, it's the same setup potentially as what we were experiencing with the Google breakout, but BMNR has different plans, and we don't want, if you're not on my side, if you're not going to do what I want you to do.
Fairme's open, Joey, it's open. Fairme, FRMI open, opened at 25 on the dot, 25.78. There's a monster seller at 78. We couldn't print anything above that. Here we go, we're rejecting 78 again. There's a seller at 70s, and the 70s is moving down now. Use the smaller time frame to spot areas of support and resistance. There it goes. It is a new high of day on Fairme. The high of the day, $25.99, basically $26. FRMI on the NQ. This is a Rick Perry data center REIT. About I think it was $8 billion last time I looked. I keep forgetting. So the what's it called? The IPO is open now. It was, yes, I'm just trying to get you guys all the information so that I'm not inaccurate on this. Where the hell is it? It is, how many billions? Where is it? I don't know where the hell happened to that, Joey. 8 billion, no, 21 apiece. Okay, I'll have to look at this after. We have to look at the price action now. It's breaking out. Here we go. 20. This is going. This is not giving it up, man. This is going here, Joey. FRMI. It's taking out levels. It's into 26.47. Here we go. Let's get involved, man. This is a breakout. This $27 now. This is going. This is basically not what we've been seeing the last few IPOs. They've been popping up and then selling off aggressively. Oh my God here, Joey. Let's see if we can get above 27. I don't mind holding this into the $0.50, but the volatility is crazy right now. Here it comes, dropping down against me into that $0.50. We're gonna have to flatten out there, but we'll get back in if it's warranted. So we'll give back a little bit on that one. FRMI breaking out into 27, losing 26 quick as you like. And here it comes back down. The short sellers are in control now, Joey. $25.79, $25 is the open price. And here comes 25. Does it lose 25? It's going to lose 25. No, defends 25 for now. So good buying in and around the IPO, popping up back into that $0.50. Joey, what do you got on your side, my man?
Yeah, I'm just watching BM&R not doing what we would like BM&R to do as it's heading in towards that lower end of the range. We'd said 53.40s. We're at a dodge on this one, so continue to do that. See you later. If you're in, yeah, exactly. So if you want to sell off, Sharif, that's fine. And then we don't participate in what you want to do. So no hard feelings there. Obviously being a little bit sarcastic. But yeah, as for some of the other names, guys, what else is everyone looking at? SPY finna break all-time highs. All right. Killa Goob, okay. I think so. Yeah. Let's take a look at it from a daily standpoint. Yeah. Probably on today's session, even in the aftermarket, post-market, you're going to see something along those lines. You're not too far off it whatsoever. So yeah, there it is, SPY, Now, as for NVIDIA starting to curl back over, that's a positive sign there. Bitcoin heading back towards those highs. Let's see if Ethereum can grind up to those specific levels. There's the GOAT right here, 187.40. Let's take a look at it from a daily. And yes, it did. It put in a new one. Look at this here. Would you look?
21.
Hold on now.
21.
Look at this. 21. So there we go. Bang. And then boom, multiple hammer candles along those lines. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I want to get involved in this. Again, I have it in the long term, but I was like, nah, not today. But boom, there it is, new all-time high. I want to take a look at Broadcom as well, too. Okay. Because I wanted to open up a potential swing on this one here. And I want to see how it's doing. How you doing?
How you doing?
All right, there it is. AVG, okay, so it's getting that bounce. I think it's a good opportunity. On my off time, I'm going to grab a couple shares here of Broadcom just to see if we can rock and roll there, Chief.
All right, guys, nucleared up. LRMR, really went into 431. I didn't have any shares left on this one. That makes me feel awfully stupid. But Nuke is continuing to go into 64s. But I want to go back to FRMI. I had a nice little scalp on this one as it popped in to 25 2/3. It's still defending 25. There's still a buyer here at 25, 25.01. But it feels like we're about to lose that $25 level, Assassino, because there's a lot of buyers stepping in here. A lot of buying at 25. Joey, I don't know if we should get in here because it feels like it's going to give way with just a lot of price action in and around this $25 area, and most of the prints that are coming in on the time and sales are yellow or red. It feels like it's just a matter of time, and here we go, dropping back down, and we lost it by 50 pennies. You could just feel the accumulation of selling into that $25 area, and what tipped me off was the level 2, but up above 25 again we go, zigging and zagging. The spread is really opening up here. Very unusual given the amount of volume. We've already printed 10.2 million shares, and the spread is as wide as 14, 15 pennies. That's a little bewildering, but that is the nature of IPO trading. Trade it carefully. We're going to a dare for happening now. Then Neil's going to drop his Neilage with his lesson of the day.
Yeah, it's been quite the day here, guys. Lots of catalysts to talk about. Let's mention Lithium Americas, which is giving up some of its gap, but is pushing higher. We did have, of course, that 100% data to the upside last week on reports that the Trump administration would be investing in Lithium Americas. Then we get confirmation that the Department of Energy is going to be taking a 5% stake in LAC and then a 5% stake in their Thacker Pass project. Nice attempt to battle back to the upside here in LIC. Tesla going to be on watch today as well, and it's going to be even more on watch tomorrow because TSLA, today we're seeing a lot of registration numbers from different countries and regions, but tomorrow we get their Q3 deliveries. A lot of analysts have raised their delivery expectations. Let's see if Tesla can pull out a big shock here and give us the numbers that we're looking for. It is worth noting, I just saw apparently Italy registrations, 25.6% decrease here year over year. From January to September, so from Q1 to Q3 2025, these new car registrations in Italy are down 32.3% year over year. So declines across the board for Italy for Tesla. Now, before we send you over to Neil and his lesson, I do want to mention I'm posting this series here on X at TTV Research. This is going to be the best performers in the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, as well as the worst performers in the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 from Q1 to Q3. As you can see, two names on this list were actually just added to the index. That'd be Robinhood and AppLovin. That's a trend you see a little bit in the Nasdaq version of this as well. So again, stay tuned. Keep looking for that on X. That thread is still ongoing. We will send you to Neil, I promise. But first, we have to thank our friends at Plus 500. Are you looking for a futures trading platform that actually delivers without hidden costs? And Plus 500 Futures, you get free live charts, transparent fees, low margins, and an unlimited demo, so you can practice until you're ready to trade live. Open an account and start trading with as little as $100. With Plus 500's powerful platform, you gain access, or you can access a wide range of futures markets like the S&P 500, Nasdaq, Bitcoin, gas, Forex, metals, crypto, and even more, all in one place. Plus, you can enjoy a welcome bonus of up to $200 in commission-free trading. So just scan that QR code on screen to apply for your account today and join over 30 million users worldwide who've already chosen Plus 500. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to get your ears ready for Neil and his lesson of the day. Take it away, Neil.
Thank you very much, Adair. I'm going to keep it short and sweet here with the lesson of the day because I want to make this one about if you have a directional bias on a stock, letting a trade work for you instead of, giving up too early on the trade. So first thing I want to say is, okay, well, have a directional bias, have an idea of what you want to do. I didn't get to trade this yesterday, but ever since the deal was announced on EA, I said the stock to me was a short based on, it's just how far it was trading above what the fair value was of the stock when you do any kind of an analysis of the expected close price and current interest rates. It's trading well above the risk-free rate. So to me, this was a short the pops and try to catch every single opportunity you can. But the thing about a bias like that is, okay, so as long as it's around key levels, and for me, underneath this 202.5, as I said this morning from a couple of days ago, I'm looking to short pop. But that's not an exact zone. It never gets to that price. So if I'm bias short, I'm shorting literally every single curl as long as the stock is underneath 202.5. That's pretty ambiguous. But there's a topping tail wick, there's an entry. There's a topping tail wick, there's an entry. Got in a little bit early off the lower high, but the same thing. I'm shorting every single pop. But I want you to notice something about each one of these trades. I am never covering, I think I covered at the open a little bit early, but that's the open. There's crazy reaction at the open. But when we reload this, I'm waiting for VWAP. When I reload it, I'm waiting for VWAP. You're not seeing me shotgun out of the trade here. I don't care how many shares I have or how many times I can get out. That stuff doesn't matter to me. The way I see it, if I believe it's an all-day short, which I'm holding a core position and I'm going to reload it every single pop that I get, I don't want to be covering the trade as it's working. I want to be covering the trade when I should make a decision, which is where I interpret buyers to be. Otherwise, I'm just giving up profit on the trade, right? So allow it to work. I find buyers down there covering. Get a reload. I think I got psyched out here when it held at 202, just in front of the 202 even dollar in VWAP. I got psyched out and took some out, but then I let it drop to the next level, and then it consolidated, got a little more aggressive getting out, and that's where it popped. That comes down to observing the tape at those key price areas. If the sellers are in control, why would I be covering here? Is that good risk to ward off the high? Absolutely, it's good risk to ward off the high. That's 1-to-1. I could be covering here. That's 1-to-1. That's 2-to-1. All that kind of good stuff. But if you're looking, we get asked this all the time. How do you let your winners ride? To me, the first part of how do you let your winners ride is not to be covering a bunch of it just as it's starting to work. Like, as people are joining the short that you've managed to peg, that's, I want to get out when the buyers are in control of a short, not when the sellers are in control. That doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. And it's not an easy thing to do, but you have to ask yourself, what do I need to see? What's the level that I'm concerned about? What do I need to see out in front of it to get out of the trade? It could just be you notice a change in the tape when it gets to VWAP. Sometimes, like I said, you'll get psyched out there. But allow the trade to work. When it's clear sellers are in control and those heavy candles, you don't always want to be shotgunning out of the trade. That's when you want to be holding on for some kind of a sign of a turn. That's where you watch that tape. Watch that level 2, watch that time in sales, get an idea if velocity slows down or you sort of see maybe they're not swiping the book as much. Like, those types of things can be a huge advantage. But the most important thing about a trade like this is do not be scared when you're in a winner. Because oftentimes that's what will happen. It's like, ooh, you don't want the profit to go away, so you start take it. You don't want to have that happen right at the moment where things are going exactly how you want. When they're going exactly how you want, that's where you want to hold. And the interesting thing is it's so much easier to do on a breakout trade sometimes because like that crazy candle goes, you're like, ooh, I can't do anything but hold because it went so fast. It's a little different when you're taking it against the grain, like you're shorting a pop or you're buying off support. But you got to try to do it to the best of your abilities. That's why I like VWAP sometimes, because it gives me something to shoot for, where I'm looking to try to hold at least a good portion of it till that level, and I know I want to make a decision there so I can then watch for a trend break or I can watch for something on the tape that gives me a reason. So, that's the lesson of the day. Do your best to try to hang on. Just as the trade is working for you is not necessarily the time that you want to be jumping out of it. If it's your best idea, certainly not when you want to be shotgunning out just as it's starting to work. Let it work for you, then it's going to be easier for you to hold. So that is your lesson of the day, and good luck, everybody. Congrats on that Fermi. I guess I should have taken the opening print after all.
Speaking of that Fermi, I've been getting cut up on that while that was going on. So I'm still watching over here. That $0.50, 26.5 has been an interesting area of resistance, but so is that 25.75. 25.75, a buy area, at least locally here on FRMI. Getting dip bought in that area, zigging and zagging with 26. Let's see if the FRMI, I'm not in it at the moment. Let's see if it can clear that 26.5. 26.5, been a staunchy level. I saw an area rejection at 12.08 and then again at 12.10. It is losing 25.75 though, at least momentarily zigging right back up into that $26 area. FRMI, new IPO. Zigging and zagging, opened up at $25. The IPO price was at the higher end of the range, 21. The initial range was 18 to 22. Keep your eye out on this one. It still hasn't given up the ghost just quite yet. It's still above the opening price, which is $25, right in around $26. But I see PALI breaking out, DXYZ breaking out as well. So keep your eye on those, Joey. What are you keeping your eye on, my man?
BMNR, as you're starting to get a little bit of a bounce, you can see that Bitcoin put in a new high of the day. Ethereum still struggling, 32.80. That's why I'm significantly heavier, and I'm happy to be. So my issue with Ethereum is that is it going to become a repeat offender? And what do I mean by this? Obviously, I could be wrong. The fundamentals and structurally everything has changed from that aspect. But you got to take into consideration that this thing took multiple years to construct a new all-time high. You have this here. This wick, I don't know if that's a genuine move in December of 25, but it took a long time from that previous peak of March 24. All right, so just keep that in mind, and then I believe we even punch in a little bit higher. So December of 21, right? So you get in that 4,900 level. So yeah, that's what I got my eyes on right now. Bitcoin putting in a new one, but it's lagging, and then that's why I let go of all of my Ethereum shares. ETHA shares are gone. Donk, bye, see you later. And then I only have one contract left that's a little bit underwater right now. But these Bitcoin contracts are starting to really cook up a storm, and that's what we like. We want to stick with the stronger asset. Government shutdown. I mentioned it yesterday that I like the rotation into the crypto space. So now, as for BMNR, we'll head back into these these 5-minute candles, Ethereum, okay, it's a little bit different than what we're seeing on ETHA. All right, relatively the same. So let's see if we can get that breakout. My issue is that BMNR is moving sideways while these assets are continuously appreciating. And then now we just take a big time nosedive in BMNR, all right? So at 53.44, I told you I'm going to hop out of that trade. So we're out of that.
You want me to take over?
Yeah, please.
Okay, PALI breaking out into the high day, 167. Insane strength. Oh, sector watch. Okay, we're going to Adair. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding, Adair. Don't worry. 167 high. We've got that on right now. Let's see if we can continue a little bit higher. Let's wet the beak here. 67 is now showing up. Let's take some profits here as well. We're going to set up, obviously, you know, my fave area. Let's see if we can get that continuation. PALI has an interesting area of resistance or support, I want to say, around 150. It's really breaking out, so you're going to be punching in at the highs like this, so be careful with this one. Up 90%. Looks like there's some selling coming in now. Back up into 67, but the selling still coming in, so the profit taking or the selling going into these levels quite aggressively here on PALI. We'll take out some profits here and we'll set up a little bit lower, as I think we are extended off these levels. So we'll keep tabs on that. Yep, good out there. Is it dropping back down now into 160? I'm a buyer at 150. Let's see if it dips down into 150 or if the dips are going to be a little bit shallower than that. I'll likely front run it just a little, so we'll put it at 54 to see if we can catch a bottom wick on that bad boy. I'm also in DXYZ, but that's a much smaller position and a little bit slower, so we can kind of pack our patience on that one. What do you got, Joey?
All right, good look. All right, so yeah, just getting back there, so you can see that BMNR starting to break down a little bit. I kind of do want to buy it around these lows. It was participating in the pre-market session, but not really right now. Our risk to reward would be drastically better as Bitcoin is just continuously grinding higher. Let's take a look at the actual underlying asset to see what we got going on over there. Yeah, decisions. I mean, we're all out of that Google trade as well, too. So that was a really, really good look on Google as it broke out from that 240.50 level and headed all the way up to 243.50. So, yeah, let's go. Yeah, LJ Gons. Let's go is right. So we take that loss on BMNR, but yeah, there's the Google trade earlier in the day. And I mean, hey, it climbs a point higher after my last out. It is what it is. We'll be accepting of our fate, and we made the decision to take the position off. So just keeping that in mind. See, now, so Katina Man mentioned this yesterday, and I talk about it all the time as well, too, is that when you have a bunch of names that are kind of leading, and then you have that laggard, but then those leaders start to drop off, the chances of that laggard starting to drop off are, you have exposure to that as well, too. So just keep that in mind, and that's what's kind of swaying me from taking a second opportunity on BMNR. The risk to reward is there. Okay, enough talk. Just do it. Just do it as Nike. It was earnings. It was earnings yesterday. It was Nike's earnings yesterday, so that's our sign to just do it. And that's what we're going to do. If it breaks 53.30, then we're going to get out of Dodge on this one. 20 cents risk. We're going to look for Ethereum to break through the high of the day. We're going to look for Bitcoin to continue its appreciation throughout the session. And then hopefully BMNR will start to participate. Now, speaking of some of these leverage names, let's take a look at Strategy. Okay, Strategy's participating. Trading even a little bit better than what Bitcoin may be, in my opinion. 30 minutes of just straight topside, starting to form that bull flag. It broke out. It couldn't punch through the high of the day just yet, but keep your eyes on this one. I'll take a look at Mara before we send it off to my guy again. Mara, not doing much either, but it had a couple solid breakout days, so shout out to our boy Patrick.
Oh, sorry, Joey. What's his name? I was speaking to Assassino. No, we're good to go, Joey. I'm just setting up over here so that we're ready to go once we get the notification. All right, PALI. We took multiple outs on this one, but it's coming in to test the $0.50. We got 54s. It's showing 54s right now. It's up 79%. There's a seller at 54, though. There's been a seller here for, I think, the last few minutes. And as we watch the time in sales, the amount of shares coming in, we can tell that it is a hidden seller at 54, as almost no size is actually getting taken off the ask side of the level 2. But here we are, popping right back up into 56s. So let's see what we get there. Also involved in DXYZ for a move up into that $28 area. Quick beak wetter there, looking for the spread to tighten up a little bit on that one. But currently we'll have to wait a little bit more. Okay, what do we got? Beta Pro? Okay, all right, guys. Exciting news for Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. And if you want even better, they've got better. These ETFs also employ currency hedging so that you can seek to neutralize your exposure to the U.S. dollar. I got to wet the beak over here on my friend NUK. Excuse me while I do that for a second. They're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points, all until the 31st of December of this year. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize U.S. dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying U.S. equity indices. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. Shout out to them. All right, we're doing it live, yes, on NUKK. Breaking out to the high side. What do we got on Nuke, man? We got, we're all out of Nuke. Okay, should have been more alive to that, but there we go. Into the high day we go, and we do have the high print for now. How's my other friend Pally? Oh no, Pally's popping right back up into that $1.60. It looks like it's bottoming tail, but there's a monster seller at 60. We can't shake him. We can't shake him. He's just got way too many shares at that 60 level. So, and more shares coming in. It's an epic battle now between buyers and sellers at this level as the shorts keep coming in. The sell orders keep coming in onto that gateway. You have about 2,000 lots just on 2 gateways and then about 500 on another gateway there. So let's see how this ends up resolving. It's basically been stagnant there for the last little while. How about DXYZ? We're also involved in that. Did we get any new prints? Yes, we did. We got that $28 print, looking for higher as we show 28 right now on the level 2. It looks like we took out that seller. Oh no, he got decimated. Oh no, they killed him. PALI breaking out. We got 54s on Pally. Showing me 65s. You know where we're waiting already, man. We're waiting at 69. Boom! Into 69 we go, Joseph Options. All right, here we go. Now we're going into 75s. We're posting at 75s. 74s now on the bid. Can we get 75s? Okay. No, not quite yet. We're going to have to pack our patience there. So we're keeping an eye on all these trades, baby. SLNH included. A little disappointed with myself for getting at a nuke there a little prematurely, but I was doing the ad, so I wasn't alive to how many shares I had left. That's on me, nobody else. We'll keep tabs on that, but I'm keeping tabs here on PALI because I'm looking for that 75 penny print. KK Soul, Sharif, please, breath. I can't, brother. I'm too excited. No, I'm playing, of course. I exaggerate for effect, but I am actually happy with this trade. PALI up 100%, Joey, looking to take out that 174 high day. We're waiting at that 175. So the next print to the high side will have to be, by definition, a high of day break. We'll see if it happens.
All right, then let's bang. Let's stock and roll there. Let's stock and roll. As Hood's starting to call back, I'm in some Hood long. Let's see if this candle can hold up here for us. But as for this BM&R garbage, we might have to hop out of that one. So nothing from a long standpoint going on here. It's gonna lose its spot on the chart really, really quick, especially if it heads into that 53.30 level. We're gonna pay no mind to it because it's not participating. And if the overall, once you get a pullback in the actual underlying asset, then it's like see you later, alligator on that one. So here comes Robinhood. Gorev, not too good. As we're starting to feel a little bit more of this weight, we want to see this level hold. There it is. This might be a positive sign there, my brother. So this is a good look so far. One thing to note is that on the 5-minute time frame, engulfing print here, followed by a hammer candle. We really like that for potential add opportunity. And if it does start to really cook up for us, then we're going to add to that position because the overall market is ripping and Robinhood's not really participating. So it is lagging drastically. I wouldn't even call it lagging. It's just not even participating. So we have to be cautious about that, because if selling does step right back into the market, you can see some aggressive flushes here in the likes of Robinhood. Holding on by a thread here in the BM&R long. Adara, what do you got for us?
I know this is one name you've been looking at, GOOGL, Google. We have some news here related to this name. Waymo, which of course Google is or owns or is involved with here, said that NYC's extended its autonomous driving permit through the end of the year. So Waymo's autonomous driving permit in New York has been extended through the end of 2025. That allows Waymo to keep preparing for a future launch in the city. So NYC extending Waymo's permit. Keep an eye here on GOOGL. Back to you.
Good stuff there. Yeah, so it's a big time move that we're experiencing here in Google. I think that's positive, getting that extension on the permit, and they're probably going to extend it again until it's indefinite. So just keep that in mind. Starting to grab in some I think this is a really big key city, right? I've never been to New York personally. Heard it's crowded.
No way. You never been to NYC?
No, I've never been to NYC. Yeah, and I heard the traffic is insane and everything along those lines. So if you can get those autonomous vehicles to start operating down there, they can almost essentially anywhere on the planet, I think.
Would you be surprised to hear that Toronto's traffic is probably worse than New York?
Is it?
Yeah, I agree, Katina, man. That's exactly what I just said. Joey, I never want you to question the bureaucrats in this country.
Wow, I'll do it right now.
The bureaucrats know exactly what they're doing.
They know what they're doing,
Joey.
right?
They're excellent at their job.
So that's why it costs so much money to get the permits.
That's only in your eyes, Joey, okay? They're doing a fantastic job, and I won't hear of it, okay? I won't hear of it. The bureaucrats are fantastic.
When are we gonna, that's why we need your eVTOLs there, Sharif, because this 2D transportation system is what's really messing us up over there, my friend. There we go. We're gonna get out of this BM&R. It's garbage. So I gotta stop saying that. Anyways, it's not doing what we would like for it today. Their bang takes a clean flush to the downside. Bitcoin about to put in a new high of the day. Let's see if Robinhood can start to cook up. But yeah, as for the 2D stuff, man, shout out to Elon Musk building those tunnels out in Vegas, kind of just taking that next step. I don't know if it's tunnels, eVTOLs, or whatever it is, but we need to upgrade the transportation system, because the gridlock, some days on Adelaide, I fly down Adelaide. The other days, you're just crawling along. Now that they want to do some construction on the Gardner West now, right at Parklawn and Lakeshore, they're working on a bridge. So you have the east closure and the west closure. So if you really want to shut things down, you just do both sides at the same time, and then people get to sit in traffic. Yeah, it's totally fine.
It's totally fine.
People have nowhere to go and don't want to spend their time in traffic. But hey, with autonomy, you can be on your phone. Not like people aren't already. With autonomy, you can do what you want. And that's what I'm looking for. I'll sit in traffic all day if I have to, and I'd not touch a pedal or anything.
Yeah, absolutely, Joey. It's not like there's like 6.5 million people that live in the greater Toronto area, and a lot of them, come downtown. That's not the case.
No.
And,
who commutes to the city?
Absolutely nobody comes in. Shout out to the fantastic City Hall that we have. All right, guys, look. Let's talk some about this right now. NUKK. We're done this trade at 885, but it's coming back down into the 10 EMA. That's in the low 60s, low to mid 60s. I could be an interested buyer in that level. But I got in back to LRMR. I see this one holding up at the 10 EMA, and I'm feeling maybe this could be a flat top breakthrough 420. There seems to be an aggressive seller in that 420 area, and there has been for a little bit of time. I like the bottoming tail candles as well on the 5-minute chart. I just need to see a move past 420, and then I'll rest a little bit easier. DXYZ's coming back down, though, against me. I still have a DCA to pick this up at 55 pennies to defend the 10 EMA. I'm still seeing some generally higher highs and higher lows, but we didn't get that decisive $28 break and take like I was gauging, so we'll have to keep tabs on that. PALI, we're still holding a piece. Where's my Pally trade? We're still holding some here on PALI at 54s. We're showing 70s, 69s, looking for that continuation above 81. But QuantumScape is breaking out right now. It's coming back into the high of the day, and I want to talk more about that after Joey finishes telling you about this.
All right, guys, listen up. Trade the Pool Beat Ackman live trading competition is here, October 8th to 10th. Every day, Ackman makes his move. Your mission to outperform him. Best Hysterium, prove you've got what it takes. Then The grand finale on October 13th, broadcast live on Trader TV with Trade the Pool team live in studio. Over $600,000 in prizes are up for grabs. $25K, $50K, and even $100K evaluation accounts. Plus, surprise giveaways live on the show. Don't just watch, compete. Beat Ackman, win big. There it is. So make sure you guys participate on that one. Pretty good look, Sharif. I'm in some Robinhood here. As you can see, I pieced some out on Hood. We added aggressively. So let's see if we can get this to continue to work for us there, Gaurav. We're going to hold on to it until otherwise, if it comes back against us a little bit, so be it. But I like the signals. Great call out. Boom, boom, boom. Where we are, we enter, pulls back a little bit, holds the wick, starts to climb higher. We add aggressively, we triple up the size essentially right there. So now let's see if we can get a move up into 139.98, and there it goes. Bang! Nice move to the top side there, Shree, but immediately met by some aggressive defense right here. So someone pushing price down in Robinhood, keeping out an eye out for this individual. I'd love to have a conversation with them and say, hey, stop what you're doing and flip the other way there.
All right, Joey, I got to let them know. Ram. Nike has made a collaboration with your very favorite, I know you're a big Kim Kardashian fan, and Skims, of course. And Ram's created a great video about that. Get in and watch if you want to know about how Costco did in their last earnings report. Get in to the video right now on our YouTube homepage. Click that handsome-looking gentleman. I'm assuming he's the CEO of Costco. I have no idea. And then Micron. Yeah, Micron's the best performing, I believe, semiconductor name on the year. It is up 114%. And if you want to know why Micron's been having a booming year, then you'll have to click that video and find out. Shout out to Ram, always doing the absolute most in usually a good way, most of the time. We'll shout her out and the videos that she makes. Shout out to Ram. Yeah, click those videos, guys. Get educated and let us know what your look is on that. And if there's anything, obviously, we can add. We'd be more than happy. And I got back into LRMR for that 420 flat top break, and boy, did it pay. Boom, right through 420. The topping tails were kind of the deciding factor, at least for me here. The bottoming tails, I should say, excuse me. So let's go with LRMR. We're long at 419 or 420? 420. We just wet the beak there at 30. I've set up at 33s, now in 38s. Looking for a high of day break continuation into that bad boy. How's the DXYZ trade doing? Come on, bro. We didn't get the DCA? You're killing me here, DXYZ. It didn't give it to me, Joey. And it's continuing to put in higher highs and higher lows. So, dang. All right. You know, the Rizbot's hilarious, bro. You got to see
the Riz?
Yeah. The videos about Rizbot yesterday. He's going to get, someone's going to clap Rizbot.
You think so?
Yeah. He's going to get, they walk in Austin. Oh, yeah. He walks around with a security guard.
Yeah, easy.
But someone's going to clap that little.
Someone's going to clap that guy.
So funny,
so he's going to hit that thing, eh?
He's sitting there roasting everybody. Rizbot.
Yeah, watch out for that. Oh.
All right. So that's what we're involved in right now, guys. Keeping my eye on PALI as that come down substantially from the high. PALI is over here. We have on PALI 154. It's coming back down into 160. Look, the 10 EMA is 150, so I will have to give this at least 4 pennies on the remaining amount. But it's okay because we only have one beak wetter left. So there it goes. We're going to throw that in right now, that stop. That is for PALI through 150. The reason I say I have to give it to 150 is because the 10 EMA on the 5 is at 150. So that kind of ties my hand there. Let's see if it pops back up. Keeping an eye, of course, on DXYZ, looking for continuation on that one. Are we getting it to 28? Oh, we're pretty close. 94 is showing up. There's 28 now on the ask side of the level 2, and you can see the prints there coming in aggressively. And orange on my time in sales usually means above the bid, means that buyers are exuberant, in the same way that the blue is where the sellers are exuberant. They're selling below the bid. That gives you an indication as to the sentiment, at least from a color-coded perspective, so you don't have to look at the exact prices and whatnot. So looking for a 28 break and take here on DXYZ. It's up 31%, but it's had a whole lot of resistance at 28, even though the high of the day is 28.50. So that's my look on that. Let's go back over here to LRMR, see what the situation is there. No beak wetters still, sadly, at 38, despite the fact that the high of the day is 37s. It's coming back down into 20, and you bet your bottom dollar if it comes into 20 and loses it, we're ending the trade. We're not going to take a loss on that one. We already got punched in the face on FRMI. New IPO on the day. That's basically the reason negatory on the day. But here, this is what's happening right now on FRMI. It is consolidating into 26, and there's higher lows with a flat top right now happening at $26 on FRMI. It's 3 5-minute candles in a row, all of which have rejected at 26 and all of which have higher lows. So you can see the buyers accumulating a little bit, and there goes 26 into 26 and a quarter. Here it comes again. This one feels like a possible breakout right now. Let's see if it can close above 26.50, Joey. I haven't seen any 5-minute candles close above 26.50 on FRMI. They've wicked above. They haven't closed above. Let's see if it actually happens this time around. Joe, show them what you're looking at, baby.
Bang! Oh my.
Oh my days.
What days, brother? What's your
days
friend's
and nights?
What's your friend's name who's always calling out the small cappers? The guy that you always shout out. What's his name?
Bovin the OG.
Yeah, exactly, Bovin.
Yeah.
I always thought it was Bavine. I had a friend named Bavine. Bovin. You guys, you and Sharif, your relationship is phenomenal. But I have to give credit to my boy Gorv over here, and Lost as well too. Lost Polios giving out those ultra stellar callouts. Robinhood off of those lows, 138.60. You get that pop right up into this resistance zone, Gorv. So we want to keep an eye out on that one. So way to call that one out. We add aggressively. Patience, patience, patience. We cracked through 139. So we give credit where credit is due. All right, 139, man. That's what we do. All right, guys. Now, as for Bitcoin, this is a key level right here, 118. Right, we're heading right into this specific zone. This was a key pivot where we turned around. Shout out to Fetty Wap. This is where we turned around before in price, and then also there's a base that was being formed. If we snap and hold this, that 118 level, then watch out. I think that we have the potential within the coming weeks. Yes, hold me accountable for my words because this is Sparta. But at the end of the day, I think within the coming weeks, we can run into a new all-time high on Bitcoin, especially with the government shutdown looming. So just keep that in mind. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Do I want to be wrong? Absolutely not. So don't just YOLO things. But if you're positioned relatively well, or you're hodling, or you're doing whatever you want to do in Bitcoin, then sure enough, you're going to be looking at a new all-time high soon. So yeah, that's what we like. Man, oh man. Yeah. So let's go Bitcoin. We're having a good time, man. It was Jody Mills' birthday yesterday. Go ahead.
It is breaking out, guys. Here we go. If this candle holds above 26.5, that will be the first time we've closed on FRMI at 26.5. If in case you're joining us late, this is a Rick Perry REIT, IPO, the REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. That's what a REIT is. And specifically, they deal with AI data centers. You can have different types of REITs, like AMT is an American Tower. They have, mobile REITs where they set up cell towers. This is taking it out, dude. $27. Here we go. 27.37 is the high of the day. So good strength coming in right now on FRMI. It was a 26 flat top break. I just got caught up so much on it. I lacked confidence going into that $26 area as a result of the whooping that we had taken prior to that on this one. So, I was a little gun shy, for lack of a better term, at that level. Should have been more alive to that 26 and should have had the compunction to punch in. Here we go again. We're moving back into 27s. We're accumulating for a 27 break and take. At 27.37 is the high of the day. We're going to pause for a second and we're going with Dara.
Yeah, worth noting here that, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, Fitch, which is a rating agency weighing in on the U.S. government shutdown, saying that it actually doesn't have any near-term implications for the AA+/stable U.S. sovereign rating. So they're not lowering the U.S. rating here. with regards to this shutdown. They did say, though, that the existence of the shutdown highlights, quote, policymaking and governance challenges. So they said there are some challenges being posed here, but ultimately nothing to really shake the U.S. off that stable rating there from Fitch. There's something else I wanted to mention here, too. At 1 p.m., so in roughly 23 minutes, Caroline Levitt is set to take the podium for a press conference. Now, sometimes she can be asked things or she can comment on things that do move the market. We know yesterday there was that Pfizer-related announcement, so keep an eye on any biotech-related plays. I'll be following the news, and I'll be letting you guys know if anything of note is said. We've got about 22 minutes till that starts, though. Back to you.
KC 526. Wow. 20, remember for 2 months, awesome day. We love that.
It's been way longer than 2 months.
Way longer.
Way longer.
Bang, Phil on Robinhood, but sent 20 Trader TV Live memberships.
Oh, KC!
Sending them out left, right, and center. They're flocking around. Yeah, man, great stuff. What a community. Everybody just come together.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. No,
over me.
No, fantastic stuff, man. Way to everybody just continuously work as a team, regardless of your red or green. Essentially doesn't matter. You're here. We're red on days. We're green on days. As long as you're participating, that's what really, really matters. You're learning. You're taking something from it, and you're taking that next level higher. You can do it right here, live at Trader TV. So make sure you guys check us out. Once again, Casey, thank you very much for that stuff. Fantastic community. And yeah, let's go. We caught that fill there on Robinhood. We added aggressively. We're not going to fumble this bag, kind of like we did on the Google one, because it's now at 243.67, which is insane. But we're going to be happy with what we got. We're thankful individuals. So with that being said, let's continue this grind here on Robinhood, Shreve.
Grinding. All right, guys. We're back into FRMI. We're scalping into 27s. We've got 78s on. It's working into 27. 27 is still a level, so I've taken out the majority of the position. I'm going to leave a piece to really fly through 27. If it breaks through 27, I want to be a part of it. Otherwise, it stops me out through 50, 55 to be exact. So we've got 78s on. If it drops below 55 for the last remaining piece, it ends the trade for me. I just have to be part of this. If it explodes to the high side above 27, it really is incumbent upon me to kind of be in this. But I'm willing to give back some now that I've scalped out nicely into that $27 level. So let that one cook. If it stops me out, it stops me out. I've given it a wide enough spread. There's 27 showing again. And rejecting again. Did we get any prints above 27? The time and sale is moving too quickly, man. I can't even analyze it to see if we had any prints above 27 on a strict basis. So that's my look there. How's DXYZ doing? Let's let that one cook for a little bit. Okay, so now we got the DCA into DXYZ. So we've got 65s on now. So let's go ahead and set up some over here for profit taking a little bit into that level as well. And we'll put some near that $28 level. So we'll set up some there, DXYZ, keeping an eye on that. But I see 27 showing up again on FRMI. And again, we can't print. Look at the time and sales now. We're not printing anything above 27. Everything coming in at 99.5s or 27 strictly. Nothing is coming. Oh, I saw a couple of prints there at 01s, but they were very, very fleeting, dropping right back down. But I did see a couple of prints at 01, but there you go. We're right back out. So somebody's selling up multiple storms into 27. I don't know how this ends up, resolving. Does the person or persons who are selling into 27 get blown out, or are we going to be on the receiving end of yet another punch here on FRMI? So be on the lookout for that one. I got out of my SLNH trade because it lost trend, but I'm still holding some on LRMR and PALI. PALI is going to stop me out, though. We've only got one beak wetter. It's coming back into 50. If it loses 50, it ends the trade. And last but not least, Joey, we're still holding DXYZ, looking for a continuation into 28.
All right, good look there, brother. So, yeah, let's see if we can catch another fill. We're posted up at 44s there on Robinhood to take a little bit more out. Boom, add to that position once we held that specific area. Bang, we take some off, hold it, bang, 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 bang. We take a little bit more off right there. Now, as for Bitcoin, let's take a look at, guys, that's the thing here, right? We got our eye. We're running into a key daily level, but one thing to note is that, hey, this is a signal with any form of asset, essentially doesn't matter, is that when you see this, keep an eye out. If it breaks this wick to the high, then sure enough, I think we're going to see some more topside price action head into that 120, which would be absolutely phenomenal. But if it has the inability to do so, maybe you're going to get a little bit of a pullback, and hopefully it's just not too deep and gives away the majority of today's session's gains. So this is going to be a big time waiting one. So yeah. Again, I want to. That's the issue, right? When you have a long bias, I mean, I'm so bullish on the asset or whatever you would like to call it, that I don't even really want to short it. So maybe with that being said, you just avoid it at all costs, considering. If it works, it works. But again, we got enough exposure in this name, so we'll just put that to the side and let it do its thing. Let it cook up. But as for Robinhood, this one is still working pretty good for us. We'll go over a couple of the trades. I mean, we did miss the initial. I mean, we missed the third attempt. I was good. I was gonna take it, but I'm like, you know what? See you later to that. We'll get involved in some Google on that price compression pattern, and then if we were fortunate enough to catch multiple breakouts on this name. So yeah, and then now we're cooking up in Robinhood. BMNR was an 0 for 2 as well. So in the crypto space today, surprisingly, BMNR 0 for deuce, IBIT 0 for deuce, and then you go Google 2 for 2, and then you go Robinhood 2 for 2, and then we go 1 for 2 on the TQs there as well too, and still green. So whatever, if you guys added that up, then whatever accuracy that may be. But I think it's really important, just obviously from a risk to reward ratio. When things are working out, then you obviously want to try to maximize everything that you possibly can on there. Go bang, there goes a little pop in Ethereum. So we like that. Did we get the pop in Bitcoin? No, not just yet. So let's see if we can crack that 32.90 level on ETHA. If it does, then hey, you might see some more topside and head into some higher price there, Sharif.
All right, guys, we're going to start the news in a minute. Oh, disconnected my earpiece. I apologize. Give me 1 sec. We're going to start the news in a minute, guys. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to remind you of the mess you left when you went away.
That's the song I was looking for.
She's Canadian, bro. It's all good, right? Get it, Adara. Cross-eye fader that you gave to me. Adara's singing, by the way. I can definitely hear it.
Man.
You ought to know.
Bro, someone said it.
Yeah, we can't sing. I know I can't sing.
Who is that?
Alanis Morissette, bro.
Morissette.
Yeah. All right, guys, here's the deal. If you are not a member of our YouTube subscription, go just below the video assassino, and there's that join button. And what you get with the join button is you get my morning note every day. That's what we're doing the news with. Adara, myself, Joe, we're all using it for the news. Obviously, Adara has her watch list, of course. But this is going to become free for our subscribers for YouTube Premium, or not YouTube Premium, but our subscription channel. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about over here. Joey, go ahead with that, and then when you come back, I'll show them.
All right, my friend. 14 years, 0 hacks, 0 excuses. BTCC.com delivers when others don't. Trade Bitcoin up to 500x, even Tesla, gold, and Forex. With smart copy trading, you don't just watch the pros, you trade like them. Regulated in the USA, Canada, and Europe. Trusted by 6.8 million traders. Trader TV Live exclusive. Scan the QR code, click the link in the description box for a 15% deposit bonus. BTCC.com, where the pros trade, and now so can you.
All right, Joey, so here's the deal. Right below the video, you're going to see that button right there. It says join. I think it's boys, what was it? Like $5.99, $6.99?
$5.99, $4.99.
$4.99 American.
You can click on it.
Let's find out. Yeah. Join.
Just do it live.
Okay, only branded accounts. So I'll have to switch out to my own account. We can do that right here. Switch account. And we're going to go like that. We're going to do it live. There we go. And let's just go join here, Joey. All right. Let's find out what it's going to cost. $4.99 Canadian a month. Wow, look at Brendo's hair. It's and Brendo's way thinner than this now, by the way. So there it is, $4.99 US a month. It's through YouTube, and every single morning you'll have this sent directly to you guys. The morning note. We're using it to do the news. So let's get right down to that. Where is the morning note? What did I just do with it, Joey? Too many open windows over here, brother. So
at least you can do that. I can't even do that around here.
Yeah, I know. So here's the deal. I'm glitching again. Oh no. Here's the deal. I've got it right there. So get that sent to your inbox every single morning. Yes, exactly. Let's do this. So Nike reported earnings, as we all know, yesterday. Let me actually just open up my own version of this because I have it highlighted about what I want spoken about. Here we go. There we go. Same thing. One's DOCX. One is, oh boy, here we go. Copy. There it is. All right. We're doing it live.
Breaker.
Let's talk about the Nike earnings, Joey, because while they beat on the top and bottom line, it was an easy beat this time around anyway for Nike, with the EPS coming in at 49 pennies, destroying the 27 pennies expected by the street on revenue of a little bit less than $11.75 billion, but that was well ahead again of the $11 billion in revenue that the street was expecting from Nike on the quarter. That's all well and good. It's a top and bottom line beat, but net income falling year over year makes you go, right? 31% year over year net income dropped to about $727 million as profits were pressured by higher costs for the company, as well as clearance sales to get rid of a glut of inventory. Gross margins as well contracted by 3.2 percentage points, but sales did rise about 1% year over year, which actually surprised investors after Nike had previously warned of mid-single-digit revenue decline. We got single-digit revenue increase. Let's talk about the guide. What are they talking about going forward? They're saying Q2 sales are going to fall, sadly, in the low single digits for Q2. They are saying, though, that could be buoyed by an FX tailwind, which could add about 1 percentage point to sales. But without that, the numbers would be weaker, according to the guidance from the company. Tariffs remain a major headwind for Nike, who's now projecting a $1.5 billion cost on the year, hitting gross margins by about 1.2 percentage points. Gross margins in Q2 are expected to fall again to be between 3.75 points. Let's talk about the business segments here, Joey, both geographically and for their different units. North America saw a healthy growth rate of around 4%. They printed a little bit more than $5 billion in revenue on the quarter from North America, well ahead of the estimates of 4.5. So beating easily their wholesale revenue. This is really the outlier because this is showing their change in strategy. Under the previous management, they had been really pushing their direct-to-consumer segment in, at the expense of their wholesale. And by wholesale, I'm talking about, selling to Dick's Sporting Goods, Foot Locker, and by direct-to-consumer, I mean, obviously, online sales as well as through the Nike stores, right? Because they do have a retail channel. Well, their direct-to-consumer business is down 4%, all the while their wholesale business is up 7%, which jives with the shift in the company's strategy. Converse, which is owned by Nike, plunged in sales 27%. Super surprising to me because I see all the kids at the gym squatting and wearing Converse because they're flat. So I expected sales to be a bit stronger. Shows how much I know. And last but not least, Joey, China's sales are down 9%. We juxtapose that with North America because North American sales are up 4%, but they're still not buying whatever Nike has to sell out in China.
Yeah. Down 9% compared to the same quarter last year, some stuff. And then as for the tariff stuff as well, Sharif, they're going to look to incur a little bit more cost there from $1 billion to $1.5 billion. For me personally, I think the retail space, it's really tough. I'm not going to compare it to the car business, but one day you're hot, the next day you're not. The thing is, Nike is just one of those brands that have a lot of power. The symbol, everybody knows it across the world. I'm pretty sure if it's not one of the most popular on the planet. But yeah, as for the retail space, it's tough. You have all these emerging names in the likes of Alo. You got the Gymsharks. You have the Adidas doing their things as well too. And what is that? The On as well with the running shoes and everything. Oh yeah, exactly.
There's a bunch
it's a tough competitive space. Man. It's really competitive. But I'm glad that I wouldn't call it a complete turnaround. They're heading in the right path. It's not going to be linear or anything along those lines. It's going to be more or less of a grind. But from something to note positive from that is that they're starting to see more sales direct to consumer, which was really good. So yeah, it's a step in the right direction. Hopefully inventories are down because that's really important if they're getting things off the shelf. But they were getting hit with holding on to things for too long and having to give that extended discount, which is obviously going to compress their margins, which is not a good look whatsoever.
Well said.
But longer term, Nike, if you're going to go with some of these retail names, I don't think you can go wrong with that, with Nike. I think it has a better chance to be sustained and go longer than the likes of Lululemons. I think Lululemon can phase out compared to Nike, and that's just my opinion. Right?
I respect that. Adira, this Nike Skims deal with Kim Kardashian could be big because, well, from what I hear, obviously Skims is a private company, but she's doing quite well with that.
Skims is going to IPO. I don't know if there's ever really revived that conversation. That would be huge. But yeah, I mean, I think that'll be interesting to see how that impacts Nike. I do want to talk a little bit with the Converse sales. One thing I want to say is they did really poorly on Converse sales last year as well. They were down last quarter, they were down 19% year over year. So unfortunately, Converse really not helping Nike right now, as far as we can tell, at least from a sales perspective. Now, one thing I do want to talk about here, so here's just like Nike's actual sales, you know, for the year. As you can see, 2024 was a big decline. I haven't added fiscal 25 to that yet, but we know that was a bit dicey as well. Now let's talk about China. This is actually up to date, excluding yesterday. So it's all the way up to date from Q4 2025. China sales, as you mentioned there, Sharif, are still going to be a struggle, and I think that's one thing we're really going to be watching. I want to talk a little bit about Elliott Hill, CEO. So I like to do deep dives, but there's really nothing on this man on the internet, which is always a bit concerning to me. His Wikipedia page is, he's the CEO of Nike. He retired in 2020, and then he came back to be the CEO. And I'm like, this could not be your whole Wikipedia page. Okay. And I'm really not exaggerating. Like, people can fact check that. That is virtually his entire Wikipedia page. There might be a small paragraph after that. And the reason I bring this up is because he was with Nike for like 32 years. Right, he started in 1988, retired in 2020, around, I think, right before John Donahoe, that was the CEO that immediately preceded him, was appointed, and then they brought him back to be CEO. I would like a little bit more of his backstory. I want to know, I'm curious as to why Nike chose him. Now, the one thing I think that really works in his favor is, given the fact that he was there for a whopping 32 years, he was present for the entirety of Mark Parker's tenure. Now, Mark Parker was CEO from 2006 to 2020. I don't have this infographic ready right now, but you can find it on X at TTV Research. Mark Parker was fantastic for Nike stock and fantastic for morale for the company. He left in 2020. John Donahoe came, and then that, in tandem with the pandemic, kind of had the business spiraling, right? So I think the fact that he did see what Mark Parker did well, hopefully that can help Elliott Hill. He's been there for like about a year right now, and I'm just not really seeing changes.
What are analysts saying about Elliott Hill's strategy?
People aren't commenting once. The one person or much as far as I can see, the one person I have seen comment on him, and this is a weird one, is Bill Ackman, who was involved in Nike. He had some kind of issue, I guess, with one of their ads, and then because, you know, he's such a name dropper, he posts, I contacted Elliott Hill. Elliott Hill promised me he'd fix it. So at the very least, you know, he's responsive to Bill Ackman. I don't know what that says about his leadership, but we'll have to find out. It's weird when you can't find out that much about a guy that's leading a massive company.
All right, like it. Thank you, Adira. Let's go on to the next one. Bitcoin tops 116,000. Where is it at? Oh, 117.5. Go, Bitcoin, go.
Rejected that pivot level really aggressively.
You want to look at that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, like, I had to take the short on it. The signals were there. Do I want it to go down? But we were looking at it not too long ago at that specific 118 level. That was a key pivot. So we decided, we seen the VPA signal displayed to us. We had the isolated volume and that inverted hammer candle. Had to take the short. Do I want Bitcoin to go down? Absolutely not. And
instead of a correction, Joey, as a result of the government shutdown yesterday, we get a nice move up in crypto. The market as a whole, the crypto market rallied with the total digital asset value. Let me put that in properly, Assassino. Total digital asset value of the crypto market up 3.2% in 24 hours, now over 4.1 trillion. Well, I don't know if you can market cap it because there's really no cap part. Size, okay, market size, 4.1 trillion. Bitcoin surged, as we know, more than 3%. It really depends on when your ticker started generating percentage up and down on the day. Altcoins also gained. Doge, Solana, Ethereum leading daily movers. But Bitcoin's dominance in the crypto market rose a little bit here from 57 to 59%, really showing that it's a stronger BTC-led momentum versus, you know, some of the altcoins, despite the fact that they're also up. Analysts did highlight that 3 of the past 5 U.S. shutdowns coincided with Bitcoin rallying, suggesting a recurring pattern. And here are 2 large liquidity clusters in Bitcoin that were flagged by technicians. The first is a support level where longs are in. 107 to 108,000. Apparently, there's $8 billion in long positions that could be liquidated if that level gives way. Okay, so those are longs. On the same, or the other side of the token, I should say, there's about $7 billion in short positions between 118 to 119,000 that could also be liquidated if we breach that level. So those are two areas to look at, Joey. Bitcoin up 2.89.
Yeah, let's do this here, Sharif, because we have the ability to do so. All right, so what was the high of the day? Around 67.20. That's going to put us right around that 118. Sharif is, sorry, what was that level again? 67.20. Yeah, so as Sharif mentioned, right at that peak of the high of the day, essentially is where if we go north of that, you see approximately $7 billion in short liquidations. So we can correlate that possibly with the options chain, but there is nothing substantial here, even at that 67.50 level. So yeah, I mean, 67, that at the money, a little bit of a call while we're struggling right there. We do get to breach it above, but then it's immediately met by some defense. So someone putting some downward pressure on the crypto space. So keep an eye out on that. If it does crack, then I do believe that we have the ability to climb a little bit higher. The deeper the pullback, the less that I like it for that potential break of that 118 level. But yeah, I mentioned it yesterday as well too, that the government shutdown I think is bullish for the crypto space.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works, Joey.
Right.
Gold, we'll get to gold in a minute, but they had also made a move. Adara, a nice move up for crypto overnight.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say on this. I think the 118,000 level, as Joe mentioned, is a big one. But I wonder what happens if this shutdown isn't quite as long or labor intensive as we think it might be, right? We know they want to resolve this pretty quickly. So I guess my to play devil's advocate for a bit, if this ends a little bit unexpectedly or earlier than we're expecting, is crypto impacted by that? I kind of doubt it, but something to be aware of either way. I also earlier today mentioned Coinbase had its own specific catalyst. That would be its, I guess, initiated coverage there by BTIG with a $410 price target and a buy rating. You can catch more about that at 11:30 a.m. when we do our crypto segment. So that, I think the biggest thing there of interest for me that I saw this morning was the Coinbase angle specifically. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I think with regards to like if people in general are bullish on crypto, I think it's something still where it's going to be a case-by-case basis if you're comfortable with it. I saw an analyst yesterday, Wells Fargo, with a $54 price target on MSTR, which is, by the way, guys, trading like above $300. So yeah, I guess different schools of thought for crypto. I think that's probably going to continue.
Shout out to Wells Fargo. They never do anything wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you still have that divide within the crypto bulls and the people who are
yeah, well, a lot of people don't like the leveraging strategy of adding crypto to corporate treasuries. They just hate it by default.
Yeah, it's the same thing with BM&R.
Yeah, well, all those.
Right? Exactly.
Go ahead, Joe.
All right, guys. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. NICE-listed Oragenics is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Oragenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. Go and check out Oragenics. I told you guys my conky story, so it's not a good time. Not a good time, man.
You're a lot better now, though.
Yeah. But it was for that month.
I remember you were complaining a lot about that. All right, let's go on. Tesla sales mixed in Europe. I'm going to say they were pretty good. There were a couple of bad countries, but for the most part, it feels like we're bottoming. You'll see what I mean in a second. So Tesla September sales rose 2.7% in France and 20.5% in Denmark, helped by strong demand for that revamped Model Y. It was previously codenamed Juniper. I still call it that. Registrations continue to climb in both Norway and Spain, with Norway seeing a 14.7% increase in sales, boosted by a 60% growth in Model Y registrations. People love the Model Y. I happen to be among those people. However, sales did fall in Sweden for the 9th straight month, dropping, yikes, 64% year over year in September. No love for our friend Elon in Sweden. Tesla struggling sales in Europe, previously blamed on an aging model lineup, which is facing pressure from newer EVs launched by both European and Chinese challengers. China's BYD outsold Tesla in the EU for the second time this year, 2025, Obviously, we know that there was backlash by European customers against Elon Musk due to his political affiliations, which we're not really going to get into. But Tesla's EU sales from January to August this year were down a little bit less than 43% year over year. That is to August. September kind of being maybe that first month where we kind of troughed. We'll have to wait and see. It's one data point. Let's not put too much into it. But yeah, Model Y, the revamped Model Y, Tesla expects that bad boy, which began delivering in June in Europe, to lead the recovery in European markets. Joey, separately, we know that there's a Chinese-specific variant, a 3-row, 6-seater, longer-range Model Y. We don't get that in North America. The Europeans don't get that in Europe, just the Chinese. So we'll have to wait and see. Number one, do we ever get that? Number two, clearly the Model Y is the needle mover here for Tesla.
It seems to be the case. Yeah, with the revamp, that's a pretty good look. We can go all day, I'm pretty sure, about what we're still looking for with the likes of Tesla, Model 2. Didn't try to hide that whatsoever. But at the end of the day, it's good. I was waiting to see those Norway numbers up, to be honest with you, Sharif. We didn't get any of those Norwegian numbers.
Hold on. My man, 14.7.
All right, there we go. 14.7. Watch out. That's a needle. That's a needle mover right there. That's going to change the whole game right there. Obviously, being slightly sarcastic. But now, as for Tesla, we're.
This thing, Norway.
I'm not just they don't have that many people. Anyways, at the end of the day,
Nimrod just sent 50.
Wow.
I'm really rich.
Guy is really rich.
50 memberships from your boy Nimrod. Oh, Nimrod, you just gifted 50 different people.
Yeah, he did it this morning too.
This is nuts, man. And now they all get the morning note right there. So all of you guys register your memberships. Look at this. Fantastic.
How does it decide who it goes to?
I actually don't have any idea. Maybe Brendo or Daniil or anybody can tell us.
I have no idea. I love everyone in the chat, but if anyone in the chat is deserving of the membership, it's Mr. John Von Sawyers himself. I've never seen that individual say anything but positivity. Anything.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
So if we can figure that out, if John Von Sawyers doesn't have a gifted membership, I will gift him the membership myself because he's the most deserving. But does that mean I have to continuously pay monthly as well?
Oh yeah, you're on the hook for the entire year now, my boy.
I'll just pay the year up front. It would be a lot easier that way. I would do that any day of the week. So John, let me know if you have that gifted membership. If you don't, I will personally hook you up with that one because you are easily there's a lot of kind people in that, but John, I've never seen him say anything negative. He only tells people what a great job that they have done. So John, please let me know about that. But yeah, Nimrod, the super chat. Let's see. Only 2 months after opening it with Joey, who's been so patient and generous with his time answering my questions, I've reached over 75% in my options account. Thanks to my Jamaican option goat. I'm iron like iron in Zion. Sharif, I miss you, Habibi. Brother, it's all you, man. It's all you. It's all you. We miss you, my friend.
Killing it, bro. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, much appreciated,
and guys, you can tell who has the premium Memby by looking at the color of their name.
So does John have that?
We'll see in a second as soon as he texts. So options, Andrew. Now his name is green. You got Iggy D and J. Rich Beats also has a green name now. Shout out to Boring JR. He's saying thanks, Nimrod. Purity, he's got it as well. Shout out to Steven. He's got it as well. We know Viper Traders got it. Shout out to KB. Welcome, KB. To the good side. Shout out to everybody there. Mike P. D. Ryder. He's already green, bro. Shout out to Clubby as well. Everybody thanking Nimrod for the very nice gift there. That's crazy. Nimrod, stop sending that stuff, bro. I don't want to see that kind of stuff. All right, Joey, let's get Adara's take on the Model Y or Tesla in general. Adara, it looks like we're seeing some hints of positivity coming out of Europe.
Yeah, I mean, hints is a key word. I want to see what these delivery numbers bring. I think with how optimistic everybody is, if they miss even a little bit, I don't know how that goes for the stock. And I also want to add, Brian Shannon and others have said this before, where it's like, if you have a run up into a stock, into an event like earnings, it can put a lot of pressure on it to hold up. And sometimes we see these stocks that run up into earnings struggle to actually perform well. Now, with that in mind, Tesla has absolutely run up as of late. This is just kind of showing their weakness in the, I guess, non-Model Y and Model 3 vehicles. But either way, I digress. The point I'm trying to make here is, I think given all the pressure on it, given the way the stock has run up, I think given a little bit of a crack, and I do think the stock drops, that's my opinion, just based on what we've seen there. Shout out to Norway. Norway is continuing to try to keep up Tesla single-handedly, and I love it. I will say, though, it's weird that their Scandinavian friend, Sweden, is not having the same, I guess, uptick there in the registrations. That's kind of odd. Yeah, I think here, I honestly think Q3 deliveries are going to be less indicative of the company's turnaround than Q4. And I say that because Q4 is really when we're going to start seeing people react, I think, to the
EV tax
buy
credit
from Elon. We'll have more time to react to that pay package. And we have the shareholder vote on November 6th. So I think that'll really, if that galvanizes shareholders and other individuals, it'll be a nice look for TSLA. One thing, too, I want to mention that's kind of tangentially related. Elon is definitely trying to encourage people to get involved in the stock here. I just saw that he responded to someone's post being like, I have $2.2 million in Tesla and I'm not involved in any other stock. I ride or die with Tesla, more or less. And Elon said, wise choice.
No.
Which is a choice of its own, but either way, I bring that up.
I don't think that's a glowing endorsement to tell him to punch in.
Thing to co-sign, like co-sign putting all of your money into one stock. But part of it, you can look at that like, okay, he's got a lot of confidence in it, or you can look at it like he really wants this guy to get involved in Tesla. Either way, though, I mean, the point I'm trying to make is there's a lot of optimism here, and I think these Q3 deliveries are going to be the first kind of sign if that optimism is warranted. Q4, though, is I think going to be the real test.
Yeah, I think Q4 is definitely going to be important, especially for North American sales, because it'll be subsequent to the expiration of the $7,500 EV tax credit. Clearly, we don't have that issue in Europe. We did have that issue in Canada once the current Liberal government lapsed the previous Liberal government's $5,000 EV tax credit, and we did see a decline in Tesla sales in this country anyway, but that was also probably combined with political activism because of Elon's associations, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go on to the next story. Lithium America soars on a U.S. government stake. So the U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright announced the U.S. government will take equity stakes in, yes, Lithium America, LAC. The Department of Energy plans to acquire a 5% stake in Lithium Americas and a 5% stake of its Thacker Pass project out in Nevada, of which GM is a partner. More on that in a second. Thacker Pass is set to become one of the largest lithium sources in all of North America, with operations targeted to begin in late 27. That's how long it takes to build out these things. So better to start now than to wait. General Motors, as I mentioned, holds a minority stake in that project. They are also in sort of a business relationship with LAC, meaning that they're actually required contractually to buy lithium from LAC at a minimum levels per year, even if they don't need it, which obviously doesn't help GM because it could increase costs, but it certainly helps LAC as they have sort of a balanced or guaranteed source of income from that source. Chris Wright, the Energy Secretary, emphasized the government will own the mine itself as well as the corporate entity. This is the first direct U.S. government stake in a Canadian company. Yes, LAC is mostly Canadian owned, tied to critical minerals, obviously highlighting the geopolitical importance of lithium in EV and battery supply chain. And I think it's a lot better for the Americans to rely on Canadian sources than it is, of course, to rely on the Chinese, who basically dominate critical minerals and magnets. Wright noted as well, Joey, that the Department of Energy is also providing large amounts of capital debt, which is positioning the deal as a commercial transaction and strengthening, of course, the U.S. supply chain for critical.
Yeah, I think that's important. We obviously talk about the Ring of Fire up here north of the border as well quite often. It's good for, I think, for both countries, right? It's going to create more jobs, help with our unemployment rate and everything along those lines. But as for LAC, you get that breakout from that $3 level, and then essentially you double in price in the span of 1 day, a couple days actually, to be honest, to be exact. So 140% from that breakout day, and then now starting to pull back a little bit. A nice rebound, indecision print right there off of those lows. So it's a really good look there in Lithium Americas. There's no questioning that.
No questioning. Good look here, Adara, or just kind of like maybe a temporary move up as the U.S. government takes an ownership stake?
Yeah, I think it's a temporary move up, and I say that because the fact that we're up 92% year to date, and most of that move was on the news, and the fact that we couldn't really hold that pop today when we actually got the confirmation. I don't know how good of a look that is. This was the original infographic I made when we first got reports of this. But yeah, either way, pretty close to what we were actually expecting here when it comes to the deal itself. We thought we'd get a 10% stake there. Instead of the U.S. government taking a 10% stake, you just have that split into 5% in LAC, 5% in the Thacker Pass proper. And what's interesting, too, is the Department of Energy is actually the one taking the stake. So why do I specify? Because it's a little bit different than reports that we saw that would be the Trump admin in and of itself. And that also means that the only company that the U.S. government as a whole has actually taken a stake in is Intel. Because the MP stake was the Department of Defense/War, and this stake is the Department of Energy. So yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting to see how they're allotting these stakes. Either way, I think the fact that Lithium Americas is basically only up this year because of the deal, it doesn't give me a lot of long-term, warm and fuzzies towards this stock, if I'm being real.
Fair. So one thing that I want to add is I like the American government involvement in this business, and I'm usually not the one to say that. I'm more laissez-faire. I want the government to just maintain property rights and enforce contracts rather than getting involved in business. Having said that, this is one of those exceptions, and here's my reason. We know the Chinese control critical minerals and critical magnets, critical metals, whatever you want to call it. And they have a tendency, a practice that they've employed in the past, an economic term called dumping, where they basically take a critical mineral, they flood a market, they weed out other competitors, local, domestic competitors, basically by pricing down their product far lower than the other company can handle until that company's belly up. And then, they can kind of control the market, so to speak. So by having U.S. government involvement here, and as well as other corporate partnerships, case in point, the one with GM, where we can say we will not allow dumping, we will not allow, this economic sort of warfare by a competitor. I like that. I think it creates a sort of an equilibrium on a temporary basis for this market so that the companies can sort of grow, mature, and be able to compete on their own without government support with the Chinese. So I do like this, and that is an exception for me because typically I would not like the government getting involved in business. That's just my little take on that. Let's go on to the next story. AES Corp surges on a BlackRock $38 billion takeover talks. So Global Infrastructure Partners, which is a BlackRock-owned firm, is reportedly close, to finalizing a $38 billion acquisition of AES Corp, including some debt. The talks are well advanced but not guaranteed to close, according to reports. Rising demand for power from the AI expansion in data centers is fueling sector consolidation, hence this report. Market analysts, are closely tracking the deal, given the potential impact on utilities and renewables. Just to give you an idea, if you don't know what AES is, it's about a $10.85 billion company now, up a little bit less than 16% on the day. They've been expanding aggressively into renewable energy, beating Wall Street expectations going to Q2. The company was previously reported to be exploring strategic options after a Bloomberg news report back in July. And GIP, which is that Global Infrastructure Partners owned by BlackRock, they hold a strong track record in utilities, Joey, having previously partnered with CPP Investments to acquire Altel Energy for about $6.2 billion. So, the stock market likes it, up 16%, as I said, but we'll have to see if this deal even closes.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I don't really know anything about the AES Corp. But as for BlackRock, we know that these guys are one of the largest private equity firms on the planet. They just take everything. They got their hands involved in everything, whether it be Bitcoin, and they have their ETFs as well, too. So, it is what it is, $38 billion takeover talks. I'm not surprised to see a big-time firm like this starting to dabble in a little bit more there.
Industry consolidation here, Adair. Should we be possibly seeing more of this as the sector keeps getting bigger and bigger and more capital allocation is required to build out these next future facilities?
Yeah, I think we'll probably just see more of these acquisitions in general. And I want to bring up, too, we've seen a lot of these names in the S&P 500 have or be acquired, and I think that's really significant. So in 2025 alone, and these are just ones that have been completed, we've got Coinbase, Trade Desk, Datadog, Block, and Interactive Brokers all added to the S&P specifically because another company was taken private or was acquired. And so I think the M&A culture is really important to note here. Obviously, not all of these instances are the same or are comparable, but it is a marked change from a pretty significant drought that we had where there weren't a lot of companies that were able to have their mergers approved, their acquisitions approved in general. So I'm going to zoom out a bit and just say the fact that AES, which by the way, at least as of earlier today, was the top gainer in the SPY today. The fact that this is a larger company, reportedly in talks, the fact that it's BlackRock, or at least BlackRock associated, they've got the clout. I think this deal could happen, and then I think we might get another, I don't know if this year or when, we might get another S&P rebalance because we've had so many this year, and I think it's provided a lot of opportunities for a lot of new names and faces in the index, so I like it.
There are a couple of names, Adara, that you think may be finding their way into the S&P.
I was waiting forever for App and Robinhood, so those happened. So I'm like, now I'm kind of bereft. I don't really know what to say. Strategy has, I think, a snowball's chance. That's not fair. An outside chance. Maybe they're like, if it's like a really big home run, they got an opportunity.
That would be a bit of a risk for the S&P.
I think so too, and that's why I say so really hesitantly. Coinbase is a very different business. From that, I think people have said SoFi a lot. I'm kind of two opinions with SoFi because I think it's very clear the index right now wants these fintech names to be added. Coinbase, we've had Block, we had IBK was kind of in the family. We also had Robinhood. So I think maybe at that point they're fatigued, which is not fair to SoFi, but that could be what happens with SoFi. I think if they decide they want more fintech, SoFi is probably the one to go with.
I agree with that. Let's go on to the next topic, baby. AMD and IBM partner with Zifra on AI supercomputing, something we've been hearing a lot more from IBM and both AMD about. So IBM and AMD announced a multi-year collaboration with Zifra, an open source AI research and product company based in San Fran. The deal will deliver advanced AI infrastructure, including a large cluster of AMD's Instinct MI300X. Joey, finally, they're coming on the IBM cloud for Zifra. This setup will power the training frontier multimodal foundation models, making one of the largest advanced generative AI training capabilities deployed to date. It's a statement right there. The focus here is obviously on AI innovation with Zifra, which recently was valued at about $1 billion in a Series A financing round. So if you're not familiar with venture capital, there is seed and there is A, B, and all that stuff. So they basically raised in the private markets for Series A for $1 billion, and they're building an open source, open science. I don't know what open science means. Super intelligence lab. The company's focused on pushing forward innovations like novel neural network architectures, long-term memory that I know about, and continual learning. IBM, for their part in the deal, they're going to provide the cloud backbone, while AMD is going to supply the cutting-edge GPUs tailored for advanced AI workloads here, Joey. So a collaboration between two public companies and then one private, which was recently valued at around $1 billion.
$1 billion, yeah. I mean, the private market's still continuously growing. No, as for IBM, this name is, I think, in my opinion, has been phenomenal. It's a great investment. Obviously, some of these moves are pretty deep. You get that 20% pullback, a little bit more than that, 21, 22%. But you climb, it's just a straight line up at this point. You've now filled this gap completely. So I think IBM is a fantastic look so far. Are you going to go and breach this previous pivot high, 297? I don't know if it's the all-time high. I'm going to assume it is. So yeah, I think you're on the path in order to do so. I like IBM from that standpoint. Now, as for AMD, Shreve just mentioned the MI300 set to launch. Lisa Su had plans for it in 2026. I think that's going to be a big-time game changer, considering that Stargate is going to be using that chip. So we like that. The Saudis are going to be looking for it as well, too. So take a little bit of share from NVIDIA. I don't know, maybe possibly. It depends how good it may be. But I like both of these names, Advanced Micro Devices and IBM.
All right, Adara, interesting partnership. You can't say it's a bizarre one. IBM, AMD, supercomputing, AI. All makes sense, right?
I think it's a really random one. I don't have too much to say on this because I woke up, I saw the headline, I was like, oh, AMD and IBM have to be moving. They were flat. I was like, I really don't think the market cares too much about this. AMD obviously did push higher up here, but I mean, some obvious resistance at 163.80. The point I'm trying to make is I don't think it's something that, at least as of right now, the market views as a major catalyst for either stock. So for now, we're going to have to wait and see. if and how that develops. I also want to let you guys know Caroline Levitt has started the press conference, and she has a kind of surprising special guest with her. She's brought on stage with her Vice President JD Vance.
Get it, JD.
He's going to make his own set of comments, and he's going to take questions, so that should be interesting. I'll let you guys know if I hear anything. Right now, Caroline Levitt is basically saying the exact same comments that were made more or less by Mike Johnson and other Republican leaders this morning. If there's anything else new being said, I'll let you know, and I'll let you guys know when JD Vance starts speaking.
Adara, do you need time off to listen to the press conference?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, so just let me know if you don't want. Okay.
Thank you.
No worries. Go ahead, Joe.
Forward to that next headline there, Sharif. We're all out. I like the Amazon, but that Amazon's short, but that ship has already sailed. But there it is. We're all out of that Bitcoin off of the same signal, essentially, and what I'm seeing on Amazon as it's starting to come off of that 222 high. Bang, we take it, and then pop, 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 all the way down to 67.75 from 67.05 there. So sorry, 66.75 from 67.05 there.
Good to see you again, Jay, brother. Jay Lee's back in the chat. No, the reason I was saying Jay, because you had a Cyan name before, but you obviously had the same name. That's why I was double checking to make sure it's the same Jay Lee. Welcome back to the OJ Jay Lee. He's been taking some time off in the summer, and that does make sense to me. So let's go on to the next story here, Joey. One that I'm not really surprised about, because we've seen Uncle Warren continually add to his position in Occidental. I think he's out of the money, though. I could be wrong. We'll have to wait for that 13F. Anyway, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway is reportedly in talks to acquire Occidental Petroleum's petrochemical business, not all of Oxy, just their petrochemical business, for $10 billion, according to the Wall Street Journal. If completed, this would be Berkshire's largest Oxy-related deal since its $13 billion acquisition of Allegheny back in 2022. We all remember that. Buffett is known for avoiding overpaying for these acquisitions. This purchase, if it does well, will align with a strategy of targeting high-value businesses at reasonable prices. Remember Charlie Munger's influence on the OG. Just to give you an idea here about Occidental's current position, Oxy has cut about $7.5 billion in net debt over the past year from internal cash flow as well as asset sales. So they've shored up their balance sheet on the liability side, a lot better than they were last year. The debt may drop even further by about $5 billion in 2026 if oil prices stay supportive. That's a big if there, especially with OPEC, and possible increases. I know they kiboshed that yesterday, coming out and saying the reports were bogus, but we'll have to wait and see what OPEC does. Highly unpredictable. The company's petrochemical unit generated about $950 million in profits. That's in 2021, and about $1.1 billion in 2020, proving its value even in volatile commodity cycles here, Joey. As we know, Berkshire owns about $10 billion of preferred stock in Oxy from 2019 onward, collecting about $600 million annually just in dividends. The stake has been a heavy expense for Oxy, obviously, Joey, because they got to keep paying that money out. Uncle Warren wants his money.
Yeah, well, at all times, he's got to buy
Where's
another. He's got to have a Coca-Cola for lunch or whatever.
I pity the fool.
My bad. My bad. I think, Kathy, I don't have Uncle Warren.
It failed me. That's all right. That's we tried, man. That's all that matters at the end of the day. We get the participation. Throw that. I think you should. Maybe not. Anyways, I'm going to eat my words. But anyway, Sharif, from a technical standpoint, do you want to own this name? I mean, the energy sector, it's kind of like the healthcare sector has been drastically lagging the Nasdaq. I mean, you collect a 24-cent dividend on this name, but as for appreciation in the stock itself, I don't know if you're going to get that. If you're one of the dividend aristocrats or whatever they like to call them, then by all means start to grab some, because I think that's the world that Uncle Warren likes to live in. But for an investment standpoint, I would not be getting involved in Oxy. It was actually one of the first options contracts I've ever bought. And then if you pull up to XLE, the sector ETF, drastically underperforming. Off of those April lows, you're 23%. I mean, maybe in line, but other than that, it's a lot of sideways price action here, Sharif.
Adara, you still listening, or are you good to go?
Still listening. I'll let you guys know when he's done.
Let's go on to the next story then. What do we got over here? We got gold. Peter Schiff is just dancing all over everybody right now on X, and trust me, I see it. So gold surged as the U.S. government entered its first shutdown in nearly 7 years, with lawmakers failing to agree on a funding deal. The shutdown's timing is key here, as Friday's critical U.S. jobs report will be delayed, complicating the Fed's decision-making ahead of its next meeting. The president, Donald Trump, hinted at potentially cutting a lot of federal jobs, adding further uncertainty about the length and the scale of the shutdown. Just to give you an idea, the last major shutdown under President Trump lasted 34 days, which is the longest in U.S. history. Let's talk now about the actual gold story. Spot gold climbed to about $38.93 an ounce. Where is it at right now? Let me see the future. Show yourself, future. GC's at $38.97. We're going to breach 3,900 here. Let me just take a quick look at the intraday high. Where were we? No, we're at 39.22, so we've already broken that. That's a continuous contract, though. I don't know if the math jives on that. But yeah, this marks gold's 39th record high of the year, highlighting the persistent demand for the safe haven assets amid rising instability. Michael Field of Morningstar, an analyst there, noted that while the shutdown sparked the latest leg up, broader drivers include, geopolitical conflicts, European political turmoil, new tariffs as all reasons why gold has been moving up on the year. Analysts did highlight gold's surge is not just event-driven, but reflects a structural shift in investor sentiment, Joey.
Yeah.
So we've been talking a lot about this, both you and I, and as well as other people as well.
It
feels as if, Joey, these central banks are the ones doing a lot of the buying. It doesn't feel like, it's retail or institutions. Hard to really gauge, but we're seeing central banks constantly report they're adding gold to the balance sheet.
Adding more gold, adding more and more gold. Yeah, and I think that's going to be the case, right? I forget who it was that they were talking a little bit about gold, and they say, it's not that there's a limited supply. He said something ridiculous in the fact that it's like, you could just go to space and mine it there and bring it down here. And I'm just thinking in my head, think about the cost of that. But anyways, aside from gold, this is something that you don't want to be standing in front of. I know we were talking about someone taking the short on it. I don't know if you get back to 3,600 anytime soon. And with what we see in the GLD, the Spider Gold Shares ETF here, you go from these April lows of 273 to 356. So that's a 30% move right there from those April lows after that consolidation. And we talked about the length of it. The longer the consolidation, the stronger the breakout can be. And with a class like gold, then you don't want to be standing in front of it trying to short this commodity because it's so strong. If anything, you just want to continuously buy it. That's something that you always want to slowly allocate, in my opinion, whether it be the physical or getting involved in the ETFs. I think gold is definitely a smart investment, in my opinion.
All right.
There's no questioning it.
Let's see how it goes, Joey. I mean, I'm not going to be standing in front of that.
There's no way. And that's the thing. If you're not going to stand in front of it, what should you do at that point? You may as well get involved and go with the flow, right?
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're not wrong whatsoever. It's just, I don't know. I saw my old man take a bit of a beating on gold. He bought.
That was in Egypt, though.
No.
It was here.
We've been here since '87, bro.
Yeah.
No, but it was during the GFC.
Okay, yeah.
So gold spiked during the GFC because of all the issues that we were having.
Yeah.
And then it did nothing for a decade, Joey. All the 2010s, just need to look at the chart, you know what it was. And that's a bad story. But as I've said multiple times before, my friend Alfred inherited a whole ton of gold from his old man, took that, funneled it into Tesla, and now he printed up a storm. So, you hear both sides.
You hear both sides.
You hear both sides.
No, that's fair. That's fair, man. Yeah, I guess just looking at it, it did go through a phase. I mean, what we're experiencing now, I wonder what really is starting to cause this this rally here, Sharif, it started in October of 23. October of 23 is when it just absolutely took off from 160. So a couple years of just steady appreciation. I don't see it going on the flip side. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, but I'm just trying to think of that major catalyst that would send gold plummeting, and I don't see it right now. Things can most definitely change.
No, I personally don't see it either. We'll have to wait. Jay Lee, Joseph, Sharif, gold is the real Bitcoin. For what it's worth, if stuff goes haywire, Bitcoin will dump, but gold will not, in my humble opinion. Shout out to the OG Jay Lee. A lot of people agree with you, Jay. Harry Lou is just calling me out. Your mom needs to throw shade on you for not investing in gold. She'll do that in a second. She'll do it for free, brother. Trust me. Mom Dukes is ruthless. Let's go on to the next story. Peloton relaunches products and expands into the commercial market. Let's see where Peloton is at on the day. Are we still up? No, we just dropped back down. We gave the entire thing back. And now Peloton's down 8 2/3. The shorts just crap all over this, but let's talk about the story anyway. Peloton is refreshing its entire product lineup for the first time since it launched, adding stronger audio, faster processors. They're upgrading the Wi-Fi, and now they're including AI-powered features. I don't have more information on these AI-powered features. The new cross-training series as well. They're releasing a new series called the Cross Training Series. It emphasizes here a mix of cardio and strength, yoga and meditation, which is aligning obviously with the broader wellness trends. All machines in their Plus line now are going to include a 360-degree swivel screen. It's going to also have hands-free voice control, built-in tracking cameras, for that seamless transition between workouts. And the CEO, Peter Stern, he said, the redesign aims to deliver more value and attract new members during the holiday season, which is when Peloton does over 60% of their business on the year. The holiday season makes absolute sense, right? These are higher ticket items, and what better time to get them than when you got to ante up for gifts. Peloton is raising both their hardware and their subscription prices to reflect these enhanced features. Let me give you an example. So that bike, the starting price for the bike in US dollars, of course, we're talking. That starting price for the basic bike was $11.45. Joey, they're bumping that starting price up from $11.45 to $16.95. So clearly they're going for margins. Yeah. From $11.45 to $16.95. They're clearly trying to avoid the volume business and go to the margin business, at least from what I see. A bit more reasonable of a price increase for the Bike Plus. That goes from $24.95 to $26.95. You guys get it. They're increasing prices, but they're also doing it on their subscriptions. The All Access Pass is bumping up now from $44 to basically $50 a month, and the App Plus is going to go from $24 to basically $29. Peloton launched its Pro Series as well, so they're getting into the commercial business. We're talking hotels, condo gyms, etc. They launched a Pro Series commercial line. It's built, Joey, for high-frequency use in hotels, apartments, gyms, corporate wellness centers. The commercial segment for Peloton is one of their fastest-growing businesses and has returned year-over-year growth despite the weakness, Joey, in the consumer segment. So maybe do they focus more on commercial here if the price increases don't really stick with the consumer?
I think they have to at the end of the day, right? Because someone made a valid point. I mean, it's just essentially an opinion, is that there you go. It's a $1,700 clothes hanger, right? Like, I understand that. We're not going to talk about, obviously, the peak of this thing in COVID. I don't think it will never reach those levels ever again. No. In my opinion. There's zero chance.
I held this from 119 to 138. I'll never forget it. Going into the holiday season. So I bought it early October, and then I sold it at 138, and then that literally it went up a little bit more, and then it sold. And this was, I think, going into Christmas of 2020. So like in the height of COVID.
Yeah, so when you're getting into the commercial spaces, Sharif, I know you're in the gym all the time and everything along those lines. I personally haven't seen them in the LA Fitness. I don't know if you've seen them in Good Life or anything along those lines.
Got one in my condo.
You got one in your condo. Yeah, I can get behind the hotels, right? I can get behind hotels. That's reasonable, right? Everybody's out of town. They still want to work out. You have this fancy machine. But as for retail and just the average person spending this money, I think it's time. We're past that COVID phase. You can buy a gym membership for significantly less, and you get to get out of the house at the exact same time. Not everybody has those privileges, but at the end of the day, that's the route I'm personally taking.
I agree. Ozan, listen up, baby, and all new traders. The first month, it is absolutely free. That's right, we're waiving all the fees, so you can trade smarter, not harder, all by upgrading to that elite experience where you'll analyze, strategize, and then hopefully after that, you'll capitalize on their platform that has everything. We're talking about infinite data. We're talking about instant trading and lightning fast market insights and game-changing charts. You can predict better with their backtesting tool. Reliable, real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Do not miss out. Execute your best trades now. If you're ready to elevate your trading, you will scan that QR code or check the link in the description. Shout out to the good folks at
what is the monthly sub on Piton looking like these days, dude?
I can find out.
Yeah,
That's
another thing too, right? So like I get it. Some people have busy lifestyles; they don't have the time to get everything ready. You got kids at the home, you're having all this, but now you're paying $1,600 for the machine, and then the sub.
Can I say something to you though? They tried to drop an app-only thing where you could like have these workouts. It made sense during COVID. Okay?
But now it doesn't.
It doesn't anymore because you know what? There's a ton of that online for free. I don't need to pay a SaaS for that. In addition to that, like it's not the same lure, bro. No. I mean, you're known for the machines. You were not known for your online fitness programming that, you know.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, I get their attempt at it, but I just don't think.
I mean, are we talking about Peloton in 10 years? Ask yourself that. Do you think we're talking about Peloton in 10 years, or do you think this thing's underwater?
Oh man, that's a great question, dude.
Right?
Maybe it gets bought out, it gets a buyout candidate by somebody if they have a big enough membership base, you know, that you can monetize that somehow, some way. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Okay, but then you get into the membership stuff. I get it. Some people have a lot of money, but what are you going to do? You got all your streaming memberships. You have this membership. You got a Tesla. You got the FSD. And it's like, what, now you got the, you know what I mean? Now it's like, okay, well, oh, yeah, I got to pay X amount for my Piton membership that I just use as a close.
I'm just saying for me. It's not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, maybe somebody else.
It's not for me. That's what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah.
There's obviously a demographic where the people have kids, the stay-at-home mom who wants to rock this and has little kids at home, for sure.
I get that.
But I don't think it's large enough for this stock to ever recover.
Not those prices.
No.
Let's go on. Over here, the FTC is suing Zillow and Redfin over antitrust violations. Where's Z at right now? So Zillow's down 3 2/3. So the FTC, yes, it is suing. Oh, I wanted to adjust that over here. There we go. So the FTC is filed a lawsuit accusing Zillow and Redfin of conspiring to reduce competition in the online multifamily rental listing market. The FTC alleges Zillow paid $100 million to Redfin so that Redfin would not rehost Zillow's multifamily listing and exit the market as a competitor. The agreement allegedly included Redfin terminating contracts with its existing ad customers and committing to stay out of the multifamily rental advertising market for up to 9 years. Oh, that's not good. They're going to get slapped with that. If they're conspiring, they need to get slapped. Zillow and Redfin's rental platform, including Zillow Rentals as well as Rent.com, are widely used by Americans searching for housing. The FTC says Redfin fired hundreds of employees after the deal was signed and then helped Zillow secretly rehire some of them. Regulators argue this reduced consumer choice and weakened competition in a concentrated market, critical, obviously, for renters, property managers, and the broader U.S. housing market. For their part, Zillow and Redfin, they're not taking this lying down. They filed a statement of defense. The FTC's competition director, Daniel Guarnera, stated paying off a competitor to stop competing against you is a violation of federal antitrust laws. Zillow said it was pro-competitive and that it helped renters by expanding listing access while delivering better outcomes for property managers. Redfin, for their part, has not issued a public statement on the allegations. Some of the potential outcomes, if they do lose this, the FTC will seek to unwind the agreements between the two companies and could push for divestitures or structural changes to restore competition. Case outcome could reshape, I should say, Joey, how the rental advertising platforms operate. But I got to tell you, as a pure free market, laissez-faire, this is some BS right here. You're stacking the deck against people, and when you stack the deck against people, you got to pay.
You're going to get
so
in
if this is true, they need to pay.
Yeah, they're going to have to pay. And I mean, the stock's starting to pay as well too here, Sharif. We can take a look at Zillow from a technical standpoint. Bang, you're in a bear market right now. And then you have this news on top of it, getting probed by the FTC. Not a good look whatsoever, down 21%. And yeah, I agree with what Sharif has to say on there. People are getting screwed in the real estate game, left, right, and center already as is, which is overpricing, obviously high mortgage rates as well too. So with these guys doing what they're doing, down in the dumps, and if that's the case, Sharif, I wouldn't be surprised if this stock heads into about $67, 65, mid-60s. So yeah, not too good of a look there.
Adara, weasel in for a second.
Hi.
How's it going over there?
JD is still talking, and he's just answering questions. And he's like, I don't know how to do this. How do you pick people? At one point, he was picking people based on how much you like their outfits. It's been weird over here. That's my update. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been real weird.
All right. Just keep us updated if there's anything big. I'm sure you will anyway. All right. Hims and hers. Oh, no. Faces pressure amidst sales slowdown and FDA scrutiny. So the Bank of America, where's Hims at today? Because I know it was pretty much down in the pre. Where are we at? Oh, we're flat, 0.65. So B of A Securities reaffirmed an underperform rating with a $28 price target on Hims and hers, citing valuation concerns and what they're calling a lofty PE ratio of 71. August data suggested potential outperformance for Q3, but September sales showed slower growth. We're talking about low to mid-digit 20% year over year, below that 30% growth previously expected. This marks a sharp slowdown from the company's 88.7% revenue growth over the past 12 months. I'm sure analysts were not expecting that to continue. Some of the revenue trends going forward here. Initial Q3 online revenue projections from B of A range between 565 to 596 million, with the midpoint ahead of the street consensus. But current sales trends show now that point might be in line or slightly below estimates. Some headwinds going into 2026, I should say. Hims faces tougher comps, obviously, due to the GLP-1 ramp up late in 2025. And there's also a churn in sexual health offerings as customers transition to more chronic use solutions, which may weigh on the company's retention. There's also a competitive landscape that's intensifying, Joey, creating margin and market share risks heading into 2026. Quite frankly, Joey, we've talked about this before. On this side of the border, there's no shortage of companies that offer, Viagra, GLP-1s, hair loss stuff. It's all the stuff that you don't really want to go to your doctor about, and that you can get a script online. No shortage of them over here. I'm assuming if that's the case over here, that's probably the case down there.
Yeah. I mean, and just to add to your point, Sharif, all I see in Snapchat is just Hims and hers oral GLP. That's it. The derivative of whatever they got going over there with the Wegovies and the Manjaros and everything along those lines. So, I mean, Hims and hers, I think it's a little bit tougher of the space. Who was it? Who did they have that fallout with Novo Nordisk, right? That they had.
Lilly and Novo Nordisk. Lilly cut them off.
Yeah, exactly. So, boom, see you later to that one. Lilly and Novo Nordisk, they're obviously well-rounded on that topic. But as for an investment standpoint, it's extremely volatile. This name was in play for quite some time, right? Earlier in the year, December, boom. But then after that, things have drastically started to cool down. Let's see, from this previous high, you're down approximately 23%. So you're in bearish territory right there. So keep an eye on Hims and hers. Telehealth. I mean, it is convenient that the fact that you don't have to go to your doctor for everything. But from an investment standpoint, it's not my field, and I'm not gonna be a long-term investor in Hims and hers.
No, definitely not. No. All right, let's talk about NVIDIA. It ain't slipping, baby. It ain't slipping. It made new all-time highs today, but in the morning it was a little red. So NVIDIA briefly, oh no, it's back. It's not briefly, it is. A 4.5 trillion plus market cap. In fact, it's 4.559 as we speak, because my platform updates currently based on stock price. The decline yesterday followed a strong run, with shares closing up about 2.6% yesterday for a record high. We're probably going to have another record high as we work our way into $190. The mark market sentiment shifted as investors digested news of one of its largest customers, apparently Meta, accelerating the development of in-house AI chips. We know that to be the case for all the hyperscalers. They don't want to pay NVIDIA what they're paying. They'd rather have an in-house built chip. We've saw it with Amazon with Trainium. We see it with Google with their Tensor processing unit. We're likely to see it with Meta as well, who's, as according to this report, accelerating their in-house chips. And who benefits from that, Joey?
Yeah.
Broad freaking Com, who makes or designs, I should say, these custom silicon chips for the hyperscalers, obviously built by the likes of Taiwan Semiconductor. But yeah, this could definitely help buoy AVGO, who's also up 1.86 today. Let's talk about Meta's dual strategy. So Meta signed, as we know, a $14.2 billion deal with CoreWeave. We talked about that yesterday for computing capacity, powered exclusively, as always is with CoreWeave, by NVIDIA's hardware, highlighting the ongoing reliance for NVIDIA's hardware. Simultaneously, Meta's building out the MTIA, that's what they're calling it, the Meta Training and Inference Accelerator. So we have Trainium, we have TPUs, and now we got Metia. Meta Training and Inference Accelerator. They're developed by Broadcom. I knew it. I didn't even read this article. I knew it was Broadcom. As a hedge against NVIDIA's dominance, Meta now plans to acquire AI chip startup Rivos to accelerate that Metia development. Executives noted these Metia chips could eventually replace NVIDIA's GPUs in some servers as potential long-term threat to NVIDIA's data center stronghold. But as I've mentioned already, Joey, we're seeing the hyperscalers who have no shortage in cash and no shortage in desire not to be reliant on another Mag 7 name, develop their own in-house chip.
You know how I'm thinking of this here, Sharif, especially with the likes of Meta? What if they fall into a situation like Huawei? Where you're building, right? You're building your own in-house chips, but they're still not that good.
They're not good,
right? You can't use them to train. You can only use them for inference. And does Meta fall into that realm?
It could.
Like, I mean, like, think about it. You made a very valid point with the neuroband, band, right?
With the glasses,
it's a little bit of a lagging technology opposed to the Apple, where you can actually, you don't need any of that. You can just use your hands right in front of you.
Yeah.
If something as simple, I'm not going to say simplistic, but lesser than the chips, like the neuroband and everything that they got going on with the glasses, do I think that they can get the chip 100% right and getting it working at the capacity that they need to?
I agree with you.
I'm gonna probably lean to the other side and say no.
It's tricky, Joey. Like, I like Zuck. And I have a lot of faith in Zuck. You know, a lot of people don't like him because he's kind of a robot, right? Lacks kind of like regular human tendencies, but that's fine. That's fine. Do I like all his products? I think some of his products are a little cheaply made. I'm talking about the Quest. I know that there's different versions of it. I don't know, man. I don't feel they have that premium class like Apple. When you get an Apple product, I feel it's premium.
Quality, high quality.
Yeah, it is. And I don't necessarily feel that with Meta, but that doesn't really comment on their ability to make these advanced AI chips, because they may not have anything to do with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100. I mean, but it goes to the quality aspect too, right? Like if you can't, in something that I think is a little bit less complex than some of these chips, I don't know how great that quality is going to be in some of the chips.
I don't disagree with you. We'll have to wait and see. Last but not least here, let's see what Harry wrote. Sharif, Joe, but isn't the real money in inference? It is becoming more that way, Harry. Implementation of the models, most models seem to be open source. Go, Adara.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Lithium Americas was just asked about here to Caroline Levitt. I guess, does the administration see it's appropriate is what's happening here? When she gives her answer, I'll put it on the screen for you guys.
Thank you, Adara. Let's pull up LAC since that's being spoken about right now. What do we got on LAC? We're getting very little price action at the moment, so we'll continue to watch. Lithium America is being spoken about at the Caroline Levitt and J.D. Vance press conference being held at the White House right now. So LAC in focus still up 24.5% as we speak right now, guys. Go ahead, Adara.
Yeah, so basically Caroline Levitt said that the LAC deal is, quote, a creative response from President Trump in order to tackle the debt crisis. I'm guessing that's also just a way to respond to all of these deals that have been made. She said that these are deals that are being made with companies around the world and at home. And yeah, Trump just trying to find a way to kind of, I guess, deal with the debt in a unique way. That's what she said.
Thank you, Adara. All right, we'll have to see how that all works out. Last but not least, Joey, let's talk about Donkey Kong. I'm kidding. DraftKings. Jeffries reiterating the buy despite the sharp pullback. I want to mention that there were multiple analyst commentaries today on DraftKings. I just chose to review Jeffries, but DKNG, Joey, down 3.8% today. Another tough day for our friends at Donkey Kong, and it was a tough day yesterday. Oh boy, we dropped substantially yesterday. It was about, I think, 11% drop there. Wow. Donkey Kong getting shafted over here. Let's talk about what Jeffrey said. They reaffirmed their buy rating on DraftKings with that same $54 price target, viewing the recent share weakness as overdone, according to them. Other firms remain bullish as well. For example, Benchmark reiterated their price target of 53. UBS maintained the buy, but they cut their price target from 58 to 56 due to what they're saying is a $200 million negative tax impact. The current pullback is seen as an attractive entry point given the strong fundamentals and sector tailwinds, according to analysts. It's never financial advice on this show, and that was not financial advice either. We're reading what the analysts are saying. Let's talk about the sports betting and iGaming momentum. The New York handle is tracking 12% higher year over year so far this quarter. Gross gaming revenue in New York is up 14% year over year. July to August state data showed about a 20% year over year growth in gross gaming revenue as well, with iGaming metrics are also strong, coming in 20% growth year over year and quarter to date. NFL Week 3 performance was notable, with DraftKings holding increasing 21% year over year. They're also signing partnership agreements in order to expand their moat. They signed a multi-year advertising deal with NBC Universal, securing exclusive sponsorships and integrations across major sports events. And coverage includes, Joey, the Super Bowl and the FIFA Men's World Cup, expected to drive strong brand visibility and user growth. Obviously, Joey, when I was at BMO Field watching the GOAT on Saturday, I got to see the construction of the North Stand for the World Cup. So they're starting to build up that bad boy. Yeah, so that's going to be, because they got to bring it up into minimum FIFA stadium requirements so it houses enough people. Clearly, I can't wait. Yeah. But we know what the traffic, with the great traffic that we have now, imagine World Cup traffic. I'm gonna just stay at my grandma's. It's gonna be so close to where you live. Yeah, I'm gonna just stay at my grandma's for that duration before I lose my stuff. No, you know what's cool? I was actually working when they were doing the addition onto BMO Field. I was actually working there. The first time? Yeah. Nice, not doing a thing, but obviously doing things for Bell there. It was pretty cool watching that. They said that they had to import like cranes from Sweden or something like that. Yeah, just to kind of get that lifted. Guys, to touch on this market here real quick, crypto space is just getting absolutely lit up here. Bitcoin's selling, and so is Ethereum extremely aggressively. So we'll be patient, see if we can find anything that. But DraftKings, again, we're just getting in the thick of the NFL season. What are we headed into week 5 already or something along those lines? So not too bad of a look. DKNG, wait for them to report earnings. And I mean, as more states start to adopt online gambling, then I think this thing will be just fine. If you break it down, that is not good whatsoever. So that selling is continued. Now, just be patient and wait for any indecision prints for a potential turnaround, because, yeah, this is really aggressive and not something that you necessarily want to see. In DraftKings, in which a space I think, in my opinion, is continuously growing. So keep your eyes out on what's going on with DraftKings. If that selling doesn't stop and you crack that $30 level, just get out and look to get back in, because you're starting to experience a pretty aggressive pullback off of this previous pivot, 25%. So that's big time bearish territory. But we're going to head over to Adara, see what she's got for us. But also, we're short Amazon. Let's see if that's going to start to cook up for us. 47, we're in that 70s. Not too bad of a look so far.
Yeah, Trump just announcing here, this post is pretty long on Truth Social, but I think the key thing here is that he will be meeting with President Xi of China in 4 weeks, and apparently soybeans will be a major topic of discussion. So in 4 weeks, Trump and Xi will be meeting up, discussing, amongst other things, soybeans. He also said that they've made so much money off tariffs, they're going to take a small portion of that money to help farmers, and that he, quotes, all caps, we'll never let our farmers down. These are things he said prior. But either way here, yeah, it is worth noting that he's saying it's important to enforce the agreement with China and talking about soybeans and the role they play here. Back to you. Also, Caroline Levitt still taking questions. Back to you.
Problem on this side of the border too, Adara. As you know, China slapped tariffs on Canadian farmers for soybeans. That really affects mostly one province, Saskatchewan, which prompted the premier, which is like the governor of the province, to make an unaccompanied visit to China to kind of try to strike a deal. So it feels like as if the current government, Joey, at least on this side of the border, looking to be a little bit more friendly to China than the prior government was. Which is quite important because they're a big trading partner, whether we like it or not.
Our boy JT wasn't overly.
He did everything he could to destroy the relationship with China. Yeah. Everything he possibly could. I'm pretty sure he couldn't have done any more than what he had done. Shout out to Carney, man. The dude is.
You like Mr. Mark himself?
Man, he could not have come any sooner. Let me tell you that. Because that guy.
He was a decade late. Anyway, a decade late, unfortunately.
Yeah, the lost decade. We're calling it the lost decade.
Seriously.
You know that we had a net exodus of foreign direct investment for 10 straight years? There was never a positive year. Never.
Why would they want to?
Well, exactly.
Because this guy was adding capital gains tax on everything, why would you want...
Joey.
Yeah, go ahead.
FRMI is at day's high, 27.96. That's a day high right now. It looks like it wants to take out 28. It's up nicely here, guys. It opened at $25, was very ziggy-zaggy. It didn't really close. Any 5-minute candles didn't close below that $25 area. It did wick as low as $24.50. That is the low of the day. But it's kind of got a double bottom maybe here with a neckline at around 27. Hard to gauge. I traded it poorly. I had one decent trade on it over here, but there it is. The breakout is there. It's showing 27.66, 27.70. The high of the day, as I mentioned, is 96. This is a new IPO. It is a data center REIT IPO. And it's basically being run by Rick Perry. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that to you guys. It did open at around, I want to say exactly, 11:57, which is a little bit earlier than we typically have IPOs opening up on the midday show here, Joey.
Yep.
So that's what I've been looking at. I wanted to bring in the side charts over here so we can talk about some of the trades that we've been looking at. It looks like, DXYZ's headed down to the volume weighted average price. Likewise with LRMR with a 440 top dropping back down now into that 410 area. VWAP is also at around $4 on LRMR. But there goes FRMI back into the day's highs. It looks like it's going to touch $28. Let's look at the time and sales on this. It's showing 94s, 95s here on the ask side of the level 2. So it feels like it's just a moment. We could be at $28, if not above, within a moment, Joey. Keep your eye out on this one. New IPO on the day.
Good look there, guys. All right, listen, we don't got much time left here, but we're going to run through our trade review. This is going to be the short on Bitcoin, so we'll go 1 for 3. We went 0 for 2 on the longs, and then we hit that short pretty good.
Intel,
so
I'm seeing here stuff about Intel.
Let's see what Intel.
Hold on. I'm loading. Intel, there's something here. Intel in early talks to add AMD. Here it is. Intel in early talks to add AMD as foundry customer. Oh
there you go.
That is huge.
That's a customer.
That's going to finally. There we go. Finally, they got somebody to buy their stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
Great news for Intel.
There we go. AMD. I mean, hey, Intel, big time move. There it is. Breakout. Never mind my trade review. We only had 2 wrong names. How many did we have today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we go 5 for 7 on the names. So that's what we traded. Never mind what we got going on for a trade review. Intel's
really going, Joey.
Really ripping. Should we send it over to the boys?
We're going to send it over to the big boys right now, man.
All right, send it over. That's what we got going on. Bitcoin, recover.
Peace.
Jesus.
Well, that's the answer you were looking for.